There we go. My name is Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks.
I thought you said
Jakey Boy and I are going to break down the entire UFC Edmonton fight card. We're going to give you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. But before we talk about UFC Edmonton, let's very quickly talk about UFC 308. Jacob and I went and watched at the COSM. The COSM is a giant theater with a 90-foot screen.
Piece of shit.
We had some drinks. We had an app, some popcorn. We met some fans. We had some fun. If you want to watch the vlog, experience the COSM, check out the latest Young LA drop. They just did a huge UFC collab. Not only did I unbox the collab, I catwalked it for you. Yeah, it's a box in my car that you forgot to bring in your house, just for you. And then I said, hey, I'll bring it over.
I was not in the right state of mind to
you were not
something like that. But
it's my fault for throwing it in like the back seat where I didn't have eyes on it. Should have been front and center, bright orange. It should have been. But anyway, check out that vlog. It's one of the shorter vlogs. Pretty easy, pretty fun. We did meet a couple of fans.
Okay.
What? No, I'm about to play this clip real quick. We did meet a couple. We went to the COSM. So Jacob and I are at COSM, about to watch this event. We go to the... Actually, we get there. They look at our tickets. So COSM gave us the tickets. They said, are you going to vlog this whole thing? Great. Here's some tickets. Enjoy yourself. Let us know how it goes. So we get there. They scan our tickets to let us into the building. And then they're like, yeah, we don't have seats. These seats don't exist. It was like table 3 or whatever. They're like, this doesn't exist. We're like, what? The guy's like, yeah, these don't exist. I can give you some free drinks, though. Sorry about that. And we're like, no. Like, no, not sorry about that. This is a big place. There, you have to be able to find some seats.
I'm the one that stepped up and was like, listen, guys, we're vlogging this. Our job is to vlog this and give our experience. And it could turn pretty fucking negative pretty fucking quickly if this is the road you want to go down. And that's not a Karen moment because we have fucking tickets in our fucking hands. And they were about to be like, what are you going to do? Here's some couple drinks. It's like, no. I'm here. I'm going to sit in a fucking seat, buddy.
They literally were like, oh, sorry. They gave you tickets based on our old configuration. We just reconfigured the building. Keep in mind, this is the 5th UFC event ever that they have ever shown. And there's only 2 COSMs in the country. In LA and then right here by us.
They're like, this happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's happened it's happened in multiple.
Okay,
anyway,
so fix the issue. How does it happen again?
Luckily, I think the guy we were talking to was just like an usher. And that's why I was like, I'm going to talk to him. That's the manager. I talked to him already. And then he was like, I got you. Just sit tight. And then they got us seats and they were great.
The casualty of them being like, the first guy who looked at our ticket was like, oh, those don't exist.
Sorry. I'll just here's a couple of drinks. Yeah.
No, he didn't even do that. He wasn't even a drink guy. He was like, and we're like, no. He got the other guy that was like, oh, yeah, these tickets don't exist, but we'll get you a couple rounds. You guys can sit back here, whatever. We're like, no, try again.
Especially because I was genuine. I wouldn't shut the hell up, but I've been looking forward to the COSM for a long time. Those videos went viral of the Alex Pereira fight. So anyway, we get there. They finally sort us out. They found some seats for us, great seats, and we're on the 2nd floor. This gentleman is on the 3rd floor. And I just start hearing, thank you, Dan. I recorded it. Here you go.
I'm here with the Thank You Dan chanter. What do you got in the main event?
Good luck.
I'd like to be blessed, but I'm going with Taporia. It makes sense. Everybody's rooting for Max. I got Taporia in it. I want Max to win, but I think it's Taporia.
Hey, can I, little moment of clarity here. You had to film that twice.
I did film it twice.
Because you asked him that question and he didn't know what the fuck was going on.
They're 2 very different moments in time. The thank you Dan part was early in the night. Everybody's excited. That piece was much later, and I think everybody had a few drinks and been enjoying the
You're like, who's going to win the main event? And he goes,
he said the coma, and he said Hamza, and I was like, that's not the name.
And then he's like, oh, sorry, can we redo that? He's a great guy, though.
Oh, it couldn't be nicer. Yeah, and listen,
there's I can't remember the other guy.
Times,
I'm terrible at names, but there's that other guy with the beautiful mustache who was sitting there with his girlfriend or wife, and
he's. You know what's funny? That guy is in the vlog like 75% of the time because the camera angle. Yeah, so he's just sitting there. Thank God it's a good angle.
He's a great guy. He was like Freckle Salamander, and then I was like, Angelo's here too, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, no, that didn't. Which is the
Because then he was
opposite
like,
of
"Can I
what
get a
was
picture?"
happening in
No,
Vegas.
he literally asked me. He literally asked me, "Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Do you want Angela in it?" And he was like, "Sure." I was like, Angela.
Well, listen, you came out of Vegas being like, why is everybody like Angela more than me? And then this was your moment. You got
Well,
a salamander shout.
Well, at the Apex, I was
Well, you were by
king
yourself,
there. I
so.
was recognized more than anybody there. I would put my life on that.
Well, we
More
saw
than any other
Megan-
fighter there. And then
What's
more than
funny
anybody.
is we had, I think, 3 people come up to us. Oh, hey, guys, whatever, love the show. Megan Anderson was there. Megan Anderson, former world title challenger,
which is
multiple
another
promotion
funny
champion.
story.
So Megan Anderson was there. Jacob went over and said hi because Megan and Minty are friends. And Jacob was like, oh, hi, I'm friends with. And you said she seemed shocked that anybody like knew who the hell she was.
Well, first of all, you were like, that girl that walked by looks like Megan. And I didn't see her, so I was like, oh. And you're like, but isn't Megan tall? And I was like, yeah, she's
she
tall.
didn't seem like she's huge, and she didn't look huge when she walked by.
Right. So I was like, oh, well, okay. And then you said, I think she walked by again. You were like, that's the girl. And I was like, that is Megan Anderson.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, you should go down with the vlog. And you were like scared at. You were like, no.
I was like, I'm not doing that.
You're like,
because it's one thing if she's near us, but like, okay.
And I was like, fucking, I'll go talk to her. Fucking, I knew that Minty had mentioned that she's like just super nice. And I think they did either a conference call or something, and so they knew each other. So I texted Minty and I was like, Megan Anderson's here, and she's like, go tell her I said hi. So I was like, well, there's my in. But yeah, I walked down. I was like, Megan, and she was like, looked back, and I was like, who the fuck are you? And then I was like, Minty Betts told me, and she was like, oh, I love Minty.
Yeah.
I love Minty.
If you want to experience the event the way we did, check out the vlog. This is the damn thumbnail for the vlog.
And the COSM is shit.
Jacob didn't like the COSM. Here's our review. Here we go. Here's my review of the COSM. It is expensive, but if they dial in some of the audio video, I think it could be a spectacular experience. The food was excellent. The atmosphere was good. The atmosphere was good, right? People were clapping.
It was weak.
Oh, I like the atmosphere. It was not a live event. Like it was not. You're not in an arena.
It didn't even feel like a bar setting. It felt like a uppity. Like I felt like when I was clapping my hands, I was annoying people.
I enjoyed it. I will say what they've done is during the fights, they've got 2 camera angles. One camera angle is 3/4 of the cage. It's a spectacular camera angle, and that should be basically the only camera angle. They should just have 2 of those. There's another camera angle where it's looking through the fence up. The problem is, I'm sure if they're grappling and it's right in somebody's face, great. But the problem is, lots of times
the screen at one point.
Yeah, so you see the fence, and that's 90 feet. Yeah, there's just some size.
It's like,
reference.
okay, we can't see what's going on. So then you have to look at the little TVs that are on the screen, but like way up high or whatever.
Yeah, then they have fake Jumbotron. So it's a 90-foot tall screen. It goes all the way around the ceiling. And they've had some really cool stuff. They have fake Jumbotrons, and they've done everything possible to make you feel like you're in the arena. And in between fights, it kind of feels like you are in the arena. You're literally, the whole screen is the arena. Like it's a little cage. The walkouts, they're walking out. You see it. The problem is they need to do, I know they want us to feel like we're in the arena. I prefer they didn't try to do that. If they showed the really cool camera angles that we had, but also added the time on it because we didn't have the time stamp, so you have to look at the little fake Jumbotron. And if they did a better job with the walkouts, film the walkout, pump the music into there. Like they tried so much to focus on their experience, which is like, I don't care to be there. I want a 5-story tall fighter in front of me. Do that. You agree if they dialed in the audio visual, that it would be better?
The cost is absolutely fucking offensive. To
Our
get
tickets,
in the place, general admission to get into that place is $50.
And you can't see the screen.
At $50, you pay to just be standing or sitting in a bar setting, watching on a regular TV, paying stadium food prices because a thing of popcorn costs us $9. I got like 4 drinks and we got a little bit of food, and the tab was just over $100. So you're gonna pay $100.
2 of the drinks were free.
Yeah, and you're gonna pay a $100 tab on a $50 ticket to sit there in an okay environment to watch the fights on TV. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you want good seats, you got to pay $300, $400, $500, even $600, $700. Now you're paying $100 a fight
for a table.
Because remember, So remember, you're not paying for the entire card because only the main card is up on the big screen. So now you're paying over $100 a fight to sit in a fucking couch or at a table to watch these on a big screen where you can't see the time, you can't see the stats. Sometimes they fuck up the camera
There
angles.
goes free tickets to us ever again.
Well, I mean, fuck them. It's not a fun environment. I would not recommend it to anybody. If you get free tickets, I went. It was fun. It was fine. It was, you're there, you experience it. It seems like a cool thing. If those
Would you
tickets
have
were free, I'd
preferred-
be fucking pissed.
So for that card, in that middle of the day card, would you, if your two choices were watch it at my house the way we normally do or watch it there the way we did, you'd prefer my house over that?
100%.
I'm surprised.
Just
I
to
actually
hang
did
out.
enjoy it. I mean, I
And
did
those seats
enjoy
were
it.
a few $100 if we're paying. If I was paying for those
207.
tickets,
Actually, those are better seats. That the free seats they gave us.
I
were
would have
supposed to be
felt
200.
fucking ripped off.
The free seats they gave us were $275. And when we say tickets, it's a table of 4. So $275 for 4 people. This was better than the ones they gave us because that was the 3rd floor. This was the 2nd floor. So this is probably $350. And yeah, we were basically scrunched up next to strangers. And I don't know. Listen, I
the
enjoyed
seating is
it.
weird too. Like there wasn't even room for our third person to swing his chair around because now he's at the entrance. So you have to like kind of sit like up a little bit or whatever. Like you saw where I was sitting in the vlog. I can't scoot back and be next to my friends because the entrance is right there. The whole thing is like such a over the top. The only people that are going to go there are people that say that they watch fights at the COSM, and everyone it's one of those like taboo type, trendy things like, oh, I watch stuff at the COSM and that's why they can charge these outrageous prices. It's fucking $50 to get in that place.
$50. It should be free to get in, and then they upsell you to the big screen because it's a regular sports bar outside of that massive screen. Like the room with the big screen, I get. But the rest of it's a regular ass sports bar. 85% of the people
there paid $50 to watch it on just a TV up like a bar.
No, that piece I agree is outrageous. Just let that be a regular sports bar. Listen, they do have custom camera angles. And honestly, we went for fights. I bet for football, it's a better experience. Because people seem louder, rowdier. Those camera angles are probably absolutely spectacular. So, we've only been for one sport. It is what it is. Either way, watch the damn vlog. Make your own assessment. What a rant that was. There goes us reviewing products in here. I guess for a fact you can trust our opinions on things.
Yeah,
because we're not just gonna make shit up.
They didn't pay us to say good things, so I'm gonna be fucking honest.
They didn't pay us at all. They just said, here you go, here's some tickets. Let us know how it went. I did send them, they sent me an email, how was it? And I sent what I just said. I was like, listen, if you dial in some of the camera angles and you incorporate some of the broadcast, I understand well, this is what their business model is. We need to get people out of the house. Like the at-home experience is so great now, and the in-arena experience is too expensive. We need a hybrid. And I appreciate that model. But you can do it by truly making it a hybrid. Like, I would rather give us those custom camera angles with all the features that come with the pay-per-view. Like, you know what sucked? And you don't really notice it in the moment. But anytime on a pay-per-view when they have like they're interviewing the table or Joe Rogan standing there talking about fights coming up, we didn't see any of that. That's just on that's on a little. So those you miss on with those pieces. Hey Jeremiah,
cams and
fuck you.
Yeah, the coaches' cams in the middle of the fights and the random
stats
he put up, like the significant, like the timer is fine because you can actively look at the timer, but to see like the significant strike stats and stuff, they don't bring that stuff up, so you just happen to catch it or whatever. It's just I don't know. It's just fucking. It's cool for what it is, and if you want to go once and see for yourself. But it's like for me, I would.
I liked it. If they dialed in the electronics a little bit, I think it could be spectacular. This is how we did. Great card for us betting-wise. Gave you 20% return on your investment. And if you're not like a big math guy, you don't know how all this works, I promise you, 20% return on your investment is absolutely insane, spectacular. My villains parlay at plus 167, that crushed, safety parlay crushed. Third one in a row that was plus money. Fourth one in a row that hit. Jakey Boy basically swept outside of the lock of the week, which is kind of frustrating, I guess, if you will. But he put up some good money, gave some good return, and the lock of the week lost in spectacular fashion after, I was honestly winning exchanges. He didn't look like a terrible
he had him
lock
kind
of
of
the
hurt
week.
in the beginning. It was like, oh, I'm 100% like this. I fucking nailed this, pressured him, landed the nice boxing, just like I said. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be beautiful. And then that Shara fucking... I mean, it's cheating.
Doubles.
It literally is cheating. It literally is cheating. I think this card is the first card without where it's 12-6 elbows are allowed and just having your hands down. You're not a down opponent anymore. That's the first one.
And nobody exploited that at all. Didn't even happen. Didn't come into play at all.
I said this card coming up is the first card that has
I thought you meant 308. We talked about 308.
But I'm saying they just got rid of some stuff. I am going to initiate a ban of the double spinning back fist. I think it shouldn't be allowed. It's not fair. Because he threw the one, and Armand blocked it, and was like, oh, coming with that left hand. Like, oh, I just got you, buddy, because he saw it coming, and was about to throw, and I don't think it should have been allowed.
It was wild. We were all like, holy shit, dude.
You didn't really know what happened in real time. I didn't know if it was an elbow or what it was, but I just remember the sound it made was just like it was just fucking solid. And it was like...
And Armin's got a chin on him because he didn't go out. He just went down and was like, I'm fucked.
Yeah, he's like, don't, please, not again.
Yeah.
I hear ringing.
The bets went well. If you want to unlock... And they went well. Last week, the week before that, I've been up money 9 of the last 10 or 8 of the last 9 cards. The only one I missed was UFC Paris. The run that I'm on is absolutely wild, spectacular. If you want to unlock all the picks, all the bets, the round line leans, right now, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. You will get all the bets. You'll get tools. A lot of you love to do your own research. Data Analyzer is by far the greatest research tool ever created, ever released. It has tape index, so you can click a button and the video pops up. You can watch the fights themselves. You can look at the data. You can stack filters on the data. You can go ahead and future out your events. So it's not just this week, but all the weeks coming up. You're going to get the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. This card, the one we're about to break down, a whole bunch of line flips on this card. You're going to get the Prop Hunter, curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. You're going to get the DraftKings Optimizer. This will build DraftKings fantasy lineups for you. A couple clicks of the button. And it is preloaded with the best ownership projections on planet Earth. I compare us to the DFS companies, the companies that have millions of dollars seeded into them, that have like 100 employees, if not more. We beat them. Our DraftKings ownership projections are literally better. And here are the results. Week in and week out, I show you a graphic exactly like this. Their only job is to put out a DFS product that's incredible. They charge $100 a month for one sport. We're putting out better numbers than them with an optimizer. It's $10 a month. It includes every single thing that we do. You're also going to get Artem, who's giving you PFL, Bellator, LFA, those breakdowns, those picks, those bets, and the artificial intelligence, giving you picks and breakdowns based solely off of historical data. Every single thing that I just mentioned is for an entire month. Here's what a month looks like for you if you signed up right now. And first of all, you signed up last week. Great. Congratulations. You made a bunch of money. If you sign up right now, you're going to get UFC Edmonton, UFC Vegas 100, UFC 309. That's the John Jones card at MSG. And then UFC China with Petr Yan and Figgy. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's $10 for an entire month. Here's your month. Let's hit some super chats and break down this card. $4.99 from OKC Thunder. Are VIP UFC tickets worth it? I'm thinking of buying 3 with me and my 2 friends. Yes. It's worth it. I've been to events with it. I've been to events without it. I'm going to take this off the screen just so Jacob's face exists. Whoops. What the fuck? I thought it was worth it. And I mean, you paid. But what is the upsell for VIP? How much more? 10% more? 20% more?
Depends on where you want to sit, because obviously if you just want to go to an event and sit up top, obviously you can go for much cheaper and go on VIP. But if you want to sit lower level, the lower level tickets compared to VIP is literally like at lower level on a pay-per-view event, it's probably going to be about maybe $1,500 a ticket, depending on where you're going to sit. Obviously, as lower you go, the better it is. But it might be $1,000 to get lower level in a certain section. In that same section, you can get VIP for $1,250 a ticket. And with the VIP, you have the in stadium hospitality. You have, if you get the good enough one, you can do the ceremonial post whatever and stuff, meeting fighters and stuff. I think it's worth. If you're just going to go to an event, just kind of one time, and you want to just do it out, it's not that much more to do the VIP. And it's a unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've only done VIP once. I've been to a bunch of events without it. It's definitely a much more enjoyable with it.
In Tampa, I'll be on my 4th VIP event of the year, shouldn't you think be a buy 4 get 1 free or something? I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty
Write them a letter.
Pretty good client, right? 4 times in a year.
I mean, write him a letter, see what they do. 499 from Seamus Murphy. He says, Angelo, as a former coach, how would you say Connecticut high school / college? There is no real college wrestling scene in Connecticut. There's a couple programs, but nothing real. Like UConn does.
What about Rutgers?
That's New Jersey. College wrestling scene stacks up to other regionally and nationally. Listen, nationally, on a high school level, Connecticut is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's a tiny state, first of all. It's the second smallest state in the country past Rhode Island. If you go to the New England championships, New England is every single state, Connecticut North. Connecticut puts out more New England champions than Massachusetts does. Massachusetts gets to send 6 kids. 6 kids they get to send per weight class. Connecticut sends 4 per weight class. And Connecticut still puts out more New England champions. Connecticut puts out a bunch of D1 athletes every year. I through our wrestling program in Newtown, where I was coaching, I was able to work with, I think we had 3 full-blown high school national champions. Full-blown, not like just full-blown high school national. So I think Connecticut's great. Is it Pennsylvania? No, nothing is. Pennsylvania is the best high school wrestling state in the country. It's not even close. After that is Jersey, and then you start to fuck around with Ohio's, Iowa's. California's in the mix because it's massive. But I think Connecticut, especially given its size, pretty good. Is it amazing? No, of course not. It's a tiny state. And then we have 279 from Jort Creamer. No, Angelo. Why is Trevin Giles in the safety parlay? He's not. I'll take the 279. Appreciate that. But Trevin Giles is not in the safety parlay, just so everybody is in any form or fashion. Just so everybody's aware. You ready to break down this card? All right, let's go ahead and break it down. Oh, there's one more slide. I mentioned it earlier. Check out the Young LA UFC drop, youngla.com. If you watch the vlog, you can literally see all of it. A bunch of the stuff already sold out like instantly. But they have some pretty cool stuff. It's you got to be young and trendy. It's young, cool stuff. But they've got a sweet UFC collab going on with some very original stuff. It is insanely different than just going to the UFC website and grabbing some of their stuff. So check them out, youngla.com. You'll see the UFC drop right on the top. Let's go ahead and break down this card. And it is a surprising opening fight. We have Jack Shore, who at one point in time was somebody the UFC was pushing. We have Youssef Zalal, who's on the come-up. Left the UFC, came back, has been on an absolute tear. So opening up the UFC Edmonton fight card, we have 2 people that nowhere near Canada at featherweight. We got Jack Shore, 17-2 in his career. He is 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the disgusting loss to Joanderson Brito. We have Youssef Zalal, 15-5 in his career. He is 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight submission streak in his return to the UFC. How long do you guys think Jacob sticks to this bit? You think he'll be fake asleep through my entire breakdown? Now he has to be because I mentioned it. We got Jack Shore on the, look at him smirking. It's getting there. He's not really selling it. We got Jack Shore on the first half of this fight. I mentioned that disgusting loss he's coming off of. He was just beat by Joanderson Brito, where he didn't do much. His legs got absolutely smoked and his shin bone was exposed. But skill-wise, outside of that mauling by Joanderson Brito, he's a good grappler. He likes to move forward. He's constantly looking for a takedown. Both his wrestling and his striking are forward pressure styles. He'll work in his own kicks nicely all around. A pretty good fighter with some decent striking differential. And he averages about 3 takedowns per fight. He's taking on Youssef Zalal. I mentioned he was cut last year. Oh, Jacob gave up the bit. I mentioned he was cut last year. But then he had a bunch of regional wins. He came back, and he has been an absolute buzzsaw. Style-wise, he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. He's kept all the things that he was good at and then added a few more things to make him more exciting. So he is still a calculated distance striker. He's not going to come in, swing wild, get into a slugfight. He'll hang on the outside. He'll find his shots. He'll find his openings. He is now more aggressive of a wrestler than he has been. He's averaging about 2 takedowns per fight. He has been grappling more as of late. Striking style, I mentioned, stay in the outside, point fight. Very high fight IQ kind of guy, so don't expect him to come in swinging wild. He is only hit with 1.73 significant strikes per minute, which is absolutely spectacular considering he has 6 decisions in the UFC. One of those was against Ilia Topuria. He is coming off the destruction of Jarno Errands, where he had some early leg kicks and then a beautifully timed takedown. As soon as they hit the ground, it was a completely different fight. This is the 2.0 version of Youssef Zalal. I was not fully on board with this version. I am now. 2 spectacular return fights in the UFC. I sure am.
The fuck you are.
I mean, if you're not learning, if you're not watching these fights and evolving your opinions, what the hell are you doing with yourself?
If you're not being a little bitch boy.
He's looked absolutely great. The wrestling has been spectacular. The ground game is just absolutely next level. I picked against him in his first fight back in the UFC. I have come to my senses. He was on the call-in show a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point. The positive energy, the vibes. He just feels like a guy that knows how good he is, knows the work he's put in. You can feel the confidence, feel the energy. And I think all of that is going to ride right into here. He's pretty affordable at minus 240. I understand Jack Shore is good in his last loss. You can call it a fluke if you want. But I think Youssef Zalal is going to out-grapple the grappler, and he's going to be too technical a striker on the outside for Jack Shore to come rushed in. So Youssef is the pick, and I'm pretty confident in that. And I'm surprised his line is staying where it is. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I mean, this guy, Jack Shore, is just going to fucking smoke Youssef. Listen, I know I've been on the Youssef train for quite a while, but this full-bodied, chiseled man of a Shore being that of Jack, it's just going to absolutely destroy this guy. He's got no fucking chance in the fucking world. Listen, this little doughboy, this Darren Till body, Jack Shore,
his father has yelled at you in the past for saying that.
Yeah, because I said I can't remember if it was
called him a doughboy
or something. No, I said I said this Darren Till body. And they didn't appreciate that. I think Darren Till's got a beautiful body, but they didn't appreciate that. Thanks for your concern or something. Then he got smoked. But listen, Jack Shore is better than I think people are giving him credit for this fight. Listen, Youssef's my boy. I got Youssef to win this fight. I think he can dominate this fight if he wants to. But Jack Shore is a good fighter. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. He's a very good boxer. What I believe is going to happen is Jack Shore is going to get frustrated because his good technical boxing is not going to be able to touch Youssef because Youssef is too good. As Angel mentioned, never really gets hit. His footwork's too good. His head movement's too good. He knows how to get out of the way of good boxing. Jack Shore is going to get frustrated and probably just try to grab Youssef, hold him against the fence, know that he can't really take him down because I don't see him like just ragdolling a guy like Youssef, but he's going to try and score by just stalling out on the fence. With forward pressure, get him against the fence. And what I worry about a little bit is this could turn into one of Youssef's older fights, which were decision fights, and a lot of those decisions were close or he lost because a lot of times when he is being very elusive, it kind of looks like he can be running away at times. And I don't want an optics fight to where Youssef is running away from the striking, is doing enough to win the fight, but then, Canadian judges, who knows? So I hope that Youssef comes in, sticks on the button a little bit more. Obviously, if he uses the offense of wrestling and grappling, he can definitely dominate Jack Shore on the ground. But Youssef's a tough dude, and he should be just better than Jack everywhere. So I'm definitely going Zalal, and I think he can get it done and submit this guy. But I just hope optically, if this starts turning into a decision fight, it's not the optics of Youssef.
I mean, Jack is certainly the more forward pressure of the two, but just the way Youssef has worked in wrestling in his last couple of fights, the way he just smoked Jarno Aarons, not that Jarno was amazing, but he's a dog. Youssef,
he didn't force that stuff either. Like, there's a difference between, like, we watch Isaac, and Isaac is going to go for a takedown instantly no matter what. That's just what he does. But Youssef just kind of makes the reads. People get frustrated because he can't hit the guy. So that's when they start to overextend, and then he times those takedowns beautifully. So, yeah, Youssef's very, very good.
Yeah, so I'm on that side. Minus 240 seems affordable to me. Obviously, Jack Shore has had quite a bit of success in his MMA career, but I'm just feeling this next generation of Youssef Zalal. $9,100 in DraftKings Fantasy. Listen, in his first stint in the UFC, that's a horrible price tag. He was a decision guy. In this latest stint, he is buzzsawing people, just running right through them. So now it's like
a copy and paste in your script or something?
Because I said buzzsaw a couple of times.
Like a new word that you have like an Excel sheet where it's like the word of the week and it like Chat GPT like puts it in randomly because you just like that word or something on your calendar.
I mean, that's what he's doing. He's cutting right through them like a buzz.
Sucking on those cough drops, huh?
I mean, I just want to keep this voice sultry and ready to go.
I think you're like Arthur Spooner and
I'm addicted to Vicks Afrin. Anyway, I think Youssef gets it done. I'm torn on that price tag because last two fights, buzzsaw. worth the money. Fights before that, little tricky. I don't know. We'll take a close look. Jack can be finished. He's been finished in both of those losses, frankly. But, yeah.
Frankly, he's been finished, frankly.
That wasn't a not good impression at all. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, artificial intelligence, everything else for 4 cards, which includes UFC 309, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, it's $10 for an entire freaking month. My neighbor's watching this, the one from the troll video, and he said, is Angelo eating a Werther's? You know he just eats Werther's all day? I was like, dude, that's an old lady snack. Good. It's such an old lady snack,
They're
though.
So good, dude.
Dude, that is
I'm
an
not going to clown
old...
on somebody for eating Werther's, dude. That's one of the
I
best
am. Of all the snacks, old lady snack. No thanks.
Werther's Originals, baby. Put those in a freezer, too. Really suck on them.
Okay. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Jamey-Lyn Horth taking on Ivana Petrovic. Jamey-Lyn Horth, 6-1 in her career.
Petrovic.
4-1 in her last 5, coming off a decision loss to Veronica Hardy, taking on Ivana Petrovic. 7-1 in her career. 4-1 in her last 5. She's coming off that bounce-back win over former lock of the week, Na Liang.
What?
Jamey-Lyn... Na Liang...
Lock of the week in that fight?
I said former lock of the week.
Well, you're trying to imply that Liang now lost his lock of the week.
Oh, she did when she was. Doesn't matter if it was Ivana or somebody else that knocked her the fuck out.
Well time ago.
I thought it was hilarious. Jamey-Lyn Horth, solid striker, solid accuracy, good power, moves well, mixes up various kickboxing techniques, and she's just going to pressure forward. She has incredible fight IQ, and she follows game plans well. Takedown defense is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. She does like to work her way back up if she is taken down. And she's coming off that loss to Veronica Hardy a little while ago where she was dropped multiple times but needed to use her size advantage to have any success whatsoever. But I mentioned she's high fight IQ. She literally was in her corner talking about what's going wrong and how it's not working and trying to make the adjustments. Veronica was just a better fighter. But I do like somebody I know can.
She's a biomechanical engineer.
She's smart. She thinks about what she's doing and she makes adjustments on the fly. Oh,
I made that.
Well, she's smart, and that goes a long way.
I don't think women are allowed to go to college.
Well, they certainly can't fly planes. Ivana Petrovic, well-rounded fighter, busy striking, mostly a grappler. She has solid wrestling, heavy pressure BJJ. She will work you against the cage, drag you to the ground, immediately start working towards a submission. She's only 7-1 in MMA, but she is evolving pretty quickly. She's coming off that finish win over Na Liang, where she was getting smoked early, but weathered that storm and got it done. I was shocked that there was a 2-1 favorite in this fight. Shocked. Like, I was sitting down, relaxing on the toilet. I saw the odds, and it all just slid right out of me in a rush. Because I was like, a 2-1 favorite? This is crazy.
Excuse me.
Yes.
How would you, 1 to 10, real quick, how would you rate that joke?
5. It was right up the middle. It wasn't a joke like about Puerto Rico that's going to affect an entire national election, but it also wasn't like, Aiemann Zahabi.
Piece of trash floating in the middle of the Gulf.
Yeah. But it also isn't the easiest joke on planet Earth.
So I can't comment on that situation.
Like Aiemann Zahabi looks like fucking Ariel Helwani. It's not that bad either. That's the worst joke in the world. And if any MMA content people are out there making that joke in 2024, unsubscribe from their channel immediately. Anyway.
Like, that's like their big, like, you guys have never heard of this, but have you ever noticed?
Every time he fights, everybody thinks they're a fucking genius with that joke, and it's so annoying. It's like, this isn't clever. It's not funny. People have been saying it for 10 years. Get over it. Anyway, point being, 2-1 favorite seems nuts. I think Jamey-Lyn Horth wins, but 2-1 favorite, especially given she was almost a 2-1 underdog. She was dropped multiple times in her last fight. And if Ivana can close the distance and shoot actual takedowns, she can win. I don't think she's going to be able to. I think Jamie's just going to be too big, too strong. I think she's going to work a little too well to be tripped and dragged from against the cage. If Ivana would shoot from the middle of the octagon, maybe. But I think Jamey-Lyn Horth is going to get it done. But I can't bet on anything with these odds. These odds are crazy. 2-1 favorite. The value is long gone. If she was plus 185 when I saw this breakdown, I would have bet the shit out of her, but I don't think that lasted very long. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I actually kind of like this fight for a girl like Jamey-Lyn Horth, who, as you mentioned, I love the adjustments that she made in that third round. She realized things were going well. You're talking about these drops. They weren't fucking drops. I mean, they were just off balance, and she fell down. It's like she was getting cleaned or clocked and got knocked down.
Off balance and fell down. She wasn't dropped.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was, and fell down. She just was hit and she was off balance and she fell because of it. There was 0 knockdowns scored in the fight. It wasn't because she was hurt. It was because she was off balance and she fell down. I already got it pulled up. You don't have to look it up. There's 0 knockdowns on the fight. I watched the fight the other day. She was off balance and she fell a couple times. I just want to make sure to verify before I brought this up that there was no knockdowns, because I do remember her falling down, but it definitely wasn't because she's hurt.
Because those are my notes.
She
from
definitely
the live
struggled. Well, sounds like you're a fucking idiot. And I almost went a hard R word right there. And I had to really kind of reel that back at the last second. Listen, Veronica Hardy she had issues with Veronica in that fight because Veronica is very karate style, in, out. She's left, she's right, great footwork, great in and out, and really fast speed. I mean, you've seen the hands and this foot speed of Veronica Hardy. She is now actually a problem in this division, and she just was struggling with the speed, made the adjustments in the third quarter and said, listen, struggling with her speed, let me just get my fucking hands on her, and she ended up winning that round because of that. It's a shame she didn't do that earlier, but in this fight, Ivana's not going to have the elusive foot speed or footwork of Veronica Hardy. She's not going to have the striking of Veronica Hardy. Jamey-Lyn Horth is going to be able to use her length, use that jab, and Ivana is not going to be able to get those takedowns. I mean, she was going life to death with Liang Na for 3 rounds until Liang Na thankfully just fucking couldn't breathe anymore, and Ivana was able to win that fight. I didn't love her wrestling. I didn't love her grappling. I definitely don't like her striking. And honestly, I think Jamey-Lyn Horth can justify that price tag at minus 200.
She may look minus 200, but right now, sitting here trying to find value in bets, it's a little worrisome. It's a little worrisome. She should win. $8,800 in DraftKings Fantasy. You can spend that money on her? I thought so. If you do want to check out who the DraftKings Optimizer thinks should be in your lineup, you want to check out what the ownership projections say, you want to check out all of our bets, which have been slapping. If you want to check out the artificial intelligence and everything else that we do, $10 for an entire month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. I'm not touching it for DraftKings Fantasy. Also, somebody said this fight card is going to be, here we go. This fight night card is going to be like a room temperature sandwich. That's a pretty fun comment. It's a decent card.
I think they're great matchups. Yeah. It's not a great card, but I think the matchup is very good.
I was going to say, it's a decent card on paper, but it's certainly a card that can deliver. And the Canadian fans are great. They cheer. They're happy. The Canadian fans are good. Until all of the Canadians get fucking smoked.
I fucking hate Canadians.
When they do the pay-per-views in Canada, the Canadians get absolutely smoked, and the air gets sucked out of that room.
Canadians. Fucking piece of shit Canadians.
What are you fake mad at Canadians for?
Those goddamn geese, man. I've told you the story of when Canadian geese, when I'm growing up at a fucking horse barn, right? Because I took riding lessons, but my sister's doing all this stuff. She's winning all this stuff. I got to spend all afternoon at a fucking horse barn. There's nothing to do, no Game Boys or anything back in the day, back in the Old West. So I'm just walking around the horse barn, and all of a sudden you walk around the trailer, bunch of fucking Canadian. And then they start chasing you. I'm 8 years old, running from all these Canadian geese, so Canadians can kiss my ass.
All right. I tried to shoot Canadian geese in my last 2 vlogs ago, and unsuccessful. You can watch that vlog. First 10 minutes, I'm shooting a geese. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Chad Anheliger taking on Cody Gibson. Chad, I always mess up the last name. I think it's Anheliger. Anheliger. Well, it is borderline.
Too fast and
I know. I do always absolutely butcher it, but then I hear it again and I'm like, oh.
I'll just call him Chad.
Chad is 13-7 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off a bounce back win over the now cut. He was just cut today. Charalampos Grigoriou. He's taking on Cody Gibson, 20-10 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off his first UFC win since 2014. Chad's a powerful striker. He's got solid BJJ. If it gets to the ground, he'll set a good pace. He hits very hard. His takedown defense is just okay, but it has failed him in the past. If he's taken down, he'll look for sweeps. Good get-up game, though. If he's on top, he'll just tee off. He has 5 fights in the UFC, but he has given up a total of 14 takedowns, including 4 in his last fight against Charalampos, where he did dominate the striking. He's taking on Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson's solid striker, uses his length pretty well. Pretty long, and he stays out in that range in the striking exchanges. He used that length to set up the strikes. Well, this was me showing range. He uses that length to set up strikes and defend takedowns. He's primarily a striker. If you do take him down, you can have some success holding him there. He's coming off that submission win over Brian Kelleher, which was his first win in the UFC in over 10 years. And it's an interesting matchup because both these guys are a little older. They're like 37. They're both coming off their first win in a while, and the UFC's like, here you go. You two are together. One of you is going to lose, and we're going to cut you. I don't need, no way we're going to let you both succeed on your own. Two guys struggling, finally got a win. Good luck together. Chad is a bit of a dog. We saw it in his last fight. The guy was taken down 4 times, and he still stole the fight. I am going to pick Cody to win here because I think he can control the striking range, potentially sneak in a takedown or 2. But this is a close fight. I think these odds are wide. Plus 3.5 on Chad might make some sense. He's a dog. I don't think he's somebody's going to get put out of there. And I just, listen, Cody got his first UFC win in 10 freaking years. 10 years. A lot of people very confident in Cody, and I'll just say be careful. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I think Angelo's a bit of a pussy here so far this card. I like Cody Gibson here. I think he has all the opportunity in the world to dominate this fight. I respect the toughness of a Chad, but he just, as Angelo mentioned, he gets taken down too much. Even when he has success in the jiu-jitsu on the ground, it seems like he eventually just ends up getting swept, especially by these bigger guys. And I think the size advantage is what's going to win Cody this fight. I think the striking, he's going to be able to strike at range. He uses his strength well, or his length well in the striking, but in the grappling, in the wrestling, I think his size is just going to be way too much for a guy like Chad who can already kind of get out grappled. And Cody showed, I mean, at last fight, he came in with a wrestling game plan and looked good doing it. And I think he has all the opportunity in the world to win this fight. Just like I said that Jamey-Lyn Horth is, I think, could look her value. I think Cody could look his value and even better. So I don't mind where it's priced, and Cody's going to be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly the much bigger fighter. And if he can get the takedowns going, then yes, that is the path to success. But Chad's a gamer. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I picked him, and that's literally what I said.
You listen to
I
me
also
and you
said,
nervous and...
I also said, I think a Chad plus 3.5 makes sense. Do you not agree with that? You think Cody wins at least the 30-27?
Both sides of every fight?
Do you think Cody wins at least the... I'll bet you plus 3.5.
I think he can find a finish.
Oh, great. I'll bet you plus 3.5. What would you like to bet?
Any amount of money.
All right, let's check what the odds are.
Okay.
It's Jake, confident Jake. So it's
okay,
shocking.
Let's put $100 on it.
It's shocking. Yeah, I'm a reasonable human being. I'm not going to put $9,000 on some dumb bullshit to try to make some weird point on the internet. Let's see. Well, it can't be on Bet Online because it's plus 3.5. So I'm checking, it can't be on Bet Openly. I'm checking Bet Online to see what the odds are, and I'll just bet you $100 on this line. Since you're just so confident. Okay. Plus 3.5 on Cody Gibson. It's going to be minus money because I'm right. Let's see. Where is it? Goes the distance. They don't have a plus 3.5 line.
Makes you wonder.
Because they know. Yeah, it does make you know. It's too close of a damn fight. That's why they don't have it. So let's just say even money, $100. Would you like to do that, Mr. Confidence?
I'll do $500 if you want to do even money.
No, we'll do even money. $100 straight up.
I'll do $500. I'll do $250.
No, I'm a normal human being. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna just throw money at random bullshit. If you don't know what that, if you don't know what that plus 3.5 bet means, all I need Chad to do is win one single round on the judges' scorecard. That's it. That's all I need. One round on the judges' scorecards. Pretty sure he can do it. Tough dude. Straight up won his last fight getting taken down a ton. I think he can win one round. WeWantPicks.com. Click to become a member. Unlock all the bets. The official bets. not these internet argument bets. All those bets will get you. What happened? What are you doing?
Nothing. Just can you I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna turn my phone off silent mode. I'm getting ready to play Call of Duty, and I'll still do my breakdowns. But just text me when it's time for me to do my breakdowns, and then because I'm gonna play Call of Duty.
Okay. Look at this cool guy, huh? That's not a virgin. If I've ever seen a non-virgin in my life, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. A 38-year-old man with a gaming headset on a Tuesday night. That is a non-virgin, ladies.
Just tell me. Just text me if you're.
Non-virgin looks like.
I can't hear you, but just text me.
Sure.
I'm playing. Jordan, okay. I'm on. Send me an invite.
His poor mother. Next up at UFC Edmonton, we have Serhiy Sidey taking on Garrett Armfield. Serhiy Sidey 10-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss in his UFC debut, taking on Garrett Armfield 10-4 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the submission loss to Brady Highstand. Serhiy Sidey, tall as hell, especially in this division. He can grapple as well, powerful guy who, despite being so tall and so long, doesn't really use that range well on his feet. He likes to plot forward. He'll keep that jab in your face, and then he's going to throw big power shots right at you. He can be taken down. He can get his leg shot, but even when he is taken down, he's got good enough BJJ off his back to maybe sneak something out. Shockingly chinny. Shockingly chinny.
Lagging, dude.
For primarily a striker. But he is very tough. Coming off that close loss to Ramon Tavares, where he had the striking volume, but he was dropped. Taking on Garrett Armfield. Garrett Armfield trying to be internet famous with his memes, but we'll focus on the fighting. Technical striker. He will double up his jab. He'll switch stances pretty well. Always working forward. Stays controlled. Doesn't take too many risks. Does a good job kicking the legs before coming up top. Solid takedown defense. And while he doesn't typically look for offensive takedowns, he does have clean power, and he'll work them in well. He's coming off that come from a head loss to Brady Highstand, where he was winning that fight. He dropped him, and then he was just bullied to the ground and submitted. I'm not a big Garrett Armfield fan, and I'm hoping to put my biases aside here, because the reality is he does have some skills. He has power. He's got knockdowns in half of his UFC fights. Serhiy got dropped in his last fight, so this could be a similar situation where Serhiy's going to get dropped, not have the success he's looking for, maybe pull it off late. I am going to pick Serhiy, though, because I don't know if Garrett is going to be able to hang with the striking pressure, survive what Serhiy's going to throw his way. But this is going to be a fun fight, and it's going to be a nail-biter if you're on the Serhiy Sidey side. Garrett Armfield's better than his desire to be a Twitter meme, will have you think. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I will say... maybe this is a personal vendetta. Maybe this is, whatever. I will say Garrett Armfield, as you guys know, was my lock of the week earlier this year. Okay. We put a nice video together for him, right? I'm Garrett Armfield. He loved it, right? Followed me on Instagram, was a big fan of the video. He went on to be a winner for lock of the week, and some people consider that kind of a weird decision, right? I think people were surprised it wasn't a split, but he won it. He was a lock of the week winner. Then he reached out and said, can you make a video about that win for me? And I'll pay you for it. And I was like, no, you don't have to pay me. I'll do it. But send me some training videos because I've got a good idea of showing you training for the fight and stuff. He's like, all right, deal. Never did. Next thing I know, Angelo, the guy has unfollowed me on Instagram.
Really?
So, I don't know what I did. I don't know. Maybe the guy starts getting jealous. I'm not picking his teammates or something.
Wait,
I even saw him at the Apex.
Wait, let's spend a second on that. That's kind of a crazy thing to do. He chose to follow you for whatever reason. There's an edit you did, whatever it was, the support you showed him. And then one day, the man who is desperate to be an internet meme, he literally makes memes of himself. He takes famous memes and puts himself in them and then puts them out, hoping people will share them. That person sat down, saw you with your cool gaming headset on and the sunglasses inside and was like, unfollow? That's crazy, dude.
It surprised me as well. I even saw him when I went to the Apex in March because he was the lock of the week in January, February. When I went to the Apex in March, he was cornering somebody. And I was like, Garrett, lock of the week. And he posted on his Instagram. They're saying, no, I'm unfollowed. So, I don't know what's going on with that. But I will tell you this, and this is completely unbiased. Serhiy Sidey's going to knock this dude out. I mean, he's going to knock this dude out nice and cold. He started to come on in that in that Ramon fight. And Ramon, I believe, is a better boxer than Garrett Armfield. I mean, he is like a real boxer. I mean, he's got the Philly shell. He's rolling with stuff. He's shoulder rolling stuff. And Garrett Armfield is a good boxer, but he's going to stay in the pocket more. He's going to be a little bit more of a hittable guy. And although Ramon was firing back and was hitting a guy like Sidey never fucking took a back step. I mean, he was pressuring the whole time, was able to come on stronger in that fight, finally got that jab going with that length. And I think Garrett Armfield, while he might have some okay success in the first round, eventually Sidey's going to wear this guy down, throw the jab out there, start hurting him with the 1s and 2s against the fence. And the second that you see Garrett Armfield start wrestling, you're going to know he's in fucking trouble. So I like the striking of Sidey. I think the length is going to be the biggest issue here for a guy like Garrett Armfield, who had success boxing with a guy like Brad Katana, but Brad Katana is a very short, compact guy with staying in his face. A longer, rangy Sidey, I think he's going to have issues with, and I don't think he's going to be able to get Sidey on the ground to be able to grapple him. So I like Sidey here, and I think you could find a knockout on Garrett.
Dude, I can't believe this dude unfollowed you. That's crazy. Because I can understand not following to begin with. The choosing to follow somebody, it's an active choice. Like some people are all about follow me and not follow you and whatever. Other people, take their time. I'm only going to follow specific people, whatever.
And I did the video for him. He asked me to do another one. I was like, no, he was going to pay me. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'll just do it because you're my lock of the week. It was awesome. It was a great fight. I'll send you the whole fucking. I'll show you the whole fucking conversation.
That's right. And then he didn't even send you the clips you needed to.
No,
make
I just said, I'll do it. Just fucking, I'll send the thing. Look. Yes, I do. Look at all this stuff.
We can't see it.
Hold on. Okay. Look, he says, thank you, Jacob. I sent all this stuff. I got this idea for the video and stuff like that. Look, would you put together another highlight video for me? Let's see if it focuses. I don't know why. I can't read what I said there, but I'm sure I said, I might have some time end of this week. Yeah, I'll see if I can put something together. I appreciate it. Let me know how much it would cost. $0, laugh out loud. It's no big deal. I enjoy doing it. Thank you, Jacob. So then I sent him the whole idea for the video. Yes, I do. Because he said he has video of him training. I sent the follow-up, blah, blah, blah. I sent the video of him at, look, watch, I can play the video. Look. Lock of the week, Garrett Armfield. I point at him. Oh, there's me and Minty. And he hearts it. I'm like, let's go.
The unfollow is crazy. I can understand not following to begin with. That I get. Unfollow is crazy. That's an act. He went through his shit and said nope.
Well, you must have seen something, but it's not like I don't.
You don't even post anything on Instagram.
I never really post it on my story.
No, it's all your weird, like, homoerotic bait that you post where you're like shirtless holding your fake bulge. That's what it was. Nah, you got a whole bunch of shirtless bullshit for no reason. That's what it was.
I have one picture, I think, of.
Okay. Yeah. And then you have a picture of your
he's intimidated. So he's intimidating.
Or it was just too much, and it was like, I don't like the feelings I'm getting.
He can never live up to it.
No, or he just doesn't like how it makes him feel.
It was a jealousy thing. I literally think it was a jealousy thing.
I think it was a not fully in touch with who he is thing, and didn't like what it was doing to him as a person.
He just
ran away from it. Yeah, so he just ran away with it.
For his own good. I don't know if he's in a relationship, but it was starting to affect his relationship, is what you were saying.
Dude, the unfollow's crazy. This is a guy who was tweeting, anybody want me on their podcast? I'll go on your podcast.
You know what's so funny is I literally just got a follow on Instagram.
Are you sure he's unfollowed? Oh, is it him watching?
And I was like, oh my God, imagine, dude, if he just all of a sudden followed me, it would be the funniest shit in the entire world. If I looked at my phone, all of a sudden I saw Garrett Armfield follows you.
How do you know he unfollowed you? You went to his page for something.
No, because you can't look at it like that. But because I look at who views my stories. I think everyone, if you post a story, you look at who views it or whatever. And obviously, I always see the fighters that view it. Like everyone watching. I mean, like Yanez and Youssef and Amanda Ribas and Diana Barbosa and Cody Brunage and Charles Johnson and fucking Elkins and. All these people view my stories, and I was seeing his name, and then I wasn't seeing his name for a while. So I was like, oh, maybe just because I'll hide stories every once in a while if I don't want to see it, whatever. But to unfollow, I was like, there's no way he unfollowed me. He did.
That's crazy. Well, if you want to follow us
and
be
successful,
pay the
ultimate price.
and the successful journey that we've been on.
People are like
all
following
the winning,
me now. I keep looking at my phone like waiting for the
all the winning bets, the picks, the breakdowns, the artificial intelligence, the tools, the set of everything that we offer. It's one single package. We're not messing around with multiple tiers and DFS and this ad. No bullshit. It's $10 every single thing we do. Greatest value in this space. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top.
And no, that's not the reason I'm fucking betting against him, you fucking half-ass dipshits. I think he loses the fight.
Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Alexandr Romanov taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Heavyweights, this could be...
Be honest here, Angelo.
I am going to be
hope that
honest.
you're pretty confident.
I've got a bet on this fight. We got Alexandr Romanov. Alexandr Romanov, big boy wrestler. 2-3 in his last 5. He is 17-3 in his career. Bit of a skid these last couple of years. He is coming off that submission loss to Jailton Almeida, where Jacob said Jailton was a fraud. Then he's taking on Rodrigo Nascimento, 11-2 in his career. 3-1-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that KO loss to Derek Lewis, who is also on this card. And breaking down Alexandr Romanov is tricky because if you break him down for what he is this year, it's not great. If you go back a couple of years, completely different person. He's basically Brock Lesnar without all the muscles. Comes forward, shoots a brutal takedown, gets you to the ground, and just starts working. That's who he was for a long period of time. And I don't know what happened. Got too comfortable. I don't know what happened in his life. But then he showed up like fat as hell one day. And then ever since then, never quite got it back. Ever since Marcin Tybura weathered an early storm and then beat him, Alex hasn't looked the same. I still believe in him, though. He has been competing in wrestling tournaments and grappling tournaments outside of UFC competition. Alexandr Romanov, in shape, is a beast wrestler who can do some work on top. He's taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. He's a grappler at heart. Solid submissions. He'll occasionally get sucked into a striking match, but he's usually just looking to come forward, get you to the cage, work you to the ground in a clinch. He averages about one takedown, a little more than one takedown per fight. Good takedown defense at 76%. He was just knocked out by Derek Lewis, but that is what it is. So on paper, Rodrigo Nascimento, a guy with good takedown defense and decent striking, should smoke the 2024 version of Alexandr Romanov. He should smoke him. Decent striking, good takedown defense. And that's all he might need if Romanov shows up looking like he just hit up the Taco Bell drive-thru, as he has a couple times this year. But with all that being said, Romanov seems to be caring. He seems to be putting in the time. He seems to be working his ass off. He seems to be competing in non-UFC grappling and wrestling tournaments. I am going to ride with my guy. I think Alexandr Romanov will get it done. If he gets a takedown, I think Rodrigo's going to struggle off his back. These are still heavyweights, and I understand he's a jiu-jitsu black belt and all that bullshit. He's still going to struggle off his back. I just need a few takedowns out of Alexandr. I think he gets them. I bet on him at plus 115. And you can see here, he opened at a minus 300 favorite. That line plummeted. He went all the way down to plus money, and now it's rebounded. He's still the dog, not quite plus money. I bet him at plus 115 if you're a premium member. You saw that.
Play pick him right now.
So hopefully it hits. You don't think I have that kind of influence on the line, right? It's got to be other people seeing what I see. What do you see? Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have fucking.
A star, dancing in the light with a tail as big as a kite. With a tail
How do you know all these
big
fucking
as
songs?
a kite. Do you see what I see?
No, I want to hear your breakdown.
I think that was one of the songs we sang when I was in advanced choir at the mall. So I think I know it well.
Real quick, I see that line opening of minus 300 nowhere. Well, we get this information from OddsJam, who it's their entire job to have APIs into every single sportsbook on the planet and monitor these odds. And I promise you, with everything in my soul, that was the opening line. Next. What do you think?
Don't parody the Jesus song. That was actually the correct lyrics. I wasn't parodying anything. I sang it the way you're supposed to sing it as well. I showed it great
You're talking
respect.
about him. Well, that's an interesting emoji, a Georgia Bulldog. How do you get to do that?
That is a brown dog, if it's anything. That's not a Georgia Bulldog.
That looks like a Georgia. All right, go ahead.
I think it's for the Browns. Listen, guys, last week was the card where I said, maybe this is the card to bet against every single Brazilian. You guys know I'm very pro-Brazilian, never bet against Brazil. And I said maybe last week's card is the week to fade all the Brazilians. Guess what? They all lost. That parlay would have paid out like plus 1,000. You're welcome for saying that. This is one of those weeks where I think we could go back to never bet against Brazil. And I want to say, I sat here. And if you listen to my breakdown between Romanov and Jailton Almeida, guys, I tried. And everything that Angelo's saying and everything that Angelo's thinking about Romanov, I was there with him. And I tried to tell you guys that he had a chance in hell versus Jailton Almeida. He's a big, solid wrestler. He knows what he's doing. He can survive. He can do this. If he gets on top of Jailton, I was fucking wrong.
We were playing Can Jam, and that fight was over in 1 minute. I didn't even have to move from my can.
I was fucking wrong. And never will I ever trust a guy like Romanov. How you can put your money on Romanov, Angelo, that had to fucking hurt, and it's going to be hurting. And he could dominate the fight. Maybe he comes in, he does look like Romanov of old, where he fucking gets on top of this guy who can be taken down and hammer fists him and subs him. But maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? And I've just seen it too many times now to where he just doesn't show up, or he has a little bit of fucking adversity that he cannot overcome. And Nascimento is one of those guys that can probably just kind of hang on, survive that first round, knows what he's doing on the ground, and then start to take over or whatever. So I'm going Rodrigo. I'm not betting Rodrigo, but to put your money on Romanov is pretty wild.
Even at the amazing odds of plus 115 that I got?
If he was plus like 150, like that's a consideration, but come on. Slap you across your dumb little face. You ever fucking talk to me like that again?
Little face. Everybody watched the vlog. Tell me who's the smaller of the two of us. Fucking ass clown. Or watch the fight when I literally just stood there. Bink, 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 jab, jab, jab. Jacob has no head movement. Jacob's staring at his own shoelaces, moving forward. Just jab him.
Moving forward, you're right, and that's how they scored. A lot of people scored that. Moving forward. Pressure fighter.
Jacob did the Homer Simpson fighting without the Homer Simpson result, is essentially how that went down. Just get beat up. Hope the other guy gets tired. Oops.
Well,
I got tired
three
first.
rounds instead of 12.
I'll do fucking 30. Line it up.
I actually started cardio last week.
Oh, great. Tell me when. We'll do it again. We'll do it live this time. It's even better that way.
Maybe we should organize it for Charles's thing since in the spring now.
Let's organize it for Charles's thing. 100%. 100%. Let's do it.
I want to make sure you get a physical first because I don't want to kill you.
Fine with me. Last time I got a physical.
If you got a physical, they would not let you do. They wouldn't let you.
Last time I got a physical. They'd be like,
"Oh my God, you got a bedridden. You got to. If you leave, your heart is gonna give out. You kidding me? There's so much fat tissue around that thing. Oh my God, the heart is the strongest muscle in the human body, but for Angelo, it's the fucking tongue. I was eating all that fucking food.
I am 6'3", 260, so I could definitely lose some weight. I was 250 in the spring, but I'm 260 now. I gained about 10. But I started training. They added 8 a.m. classes at the gym. So guess who's going to 8 a.m. classes all the time? Big Ange. I'm going to be medium-sized Ange shortly. Anyway, Charles Johnson, I'll beat the fuck out of Jacob at your event. No problem. No problem. Stream it. We'll get a lot of people to watch that.
Is he here?
They'll love that.
Who the fuck are you talking to?
I figure you clip it. Anyway.
If you think he fucking watched it, he doesn't fucking watch this shit.
Jacob and I are split on this fight. I am more confident than him. I bet on it, plus 115. If you want to see the rest of those bets, you can unlock them now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's freaking $10 for an entire month. And it includes every single event over that month and every single thing we offer. All the tools, all the picks, the bets, the interactive content, everything. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. DraftKings-wise, whoever wins this fight's going to score really well. We either got Romanov getting the takedown, mauling on top, or we get Rodrigo defending the takedowns and Romanov just being clueless.
I mean, this could turn into a weird Romanov versus Blagoy type fight where they're just kind of pitter-patter, striking, and just kind of, just like not a whole lot going on because Romanov maybe like scared of gas against a guy who knows how to grapple and is trusting his boxing, whatever. It does look like, and somebody tagged me in the Discord, said go check out his Instagram. It does look like he's just training fucking in like a closet. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, dude. And when he's
it's a weird fall from grace.
When he's hitting that heavy bag too, it's like it looks like me hitting a fucking heavy. It doesn't look like a fucking professional.
It's not moving.
It doesn't look like a professional like speed or technique. It looks like he's I got in there and I've seen people hit a heavy bag, so I just try to emulate what I fucking saw, and it looks like that when he's hitting a fight. It's like, okay.
It is a weird fall from grace because like he literally was
the
like
next big guy.
It was all Brock Lesnar comparisons. It was like this is the next version of Brock Lesnar, just not as muscular, and he looked like it. And then all of a sudden he was fat one day. Yeah, then he was just fat one day. Oh, dude, like even like Chase Sherman, durable. Chase Sherman's a big, durable guy. Like, and Alexandr Romanov was like at the time the biggest favorite in the history of sport, and he looked like it. And then all of a sudden, just got fat. Like literally, just got fat. Like not an injury, nothing. Just got fat, and it went downhill from there. We do have a $4.99 from Kellen. Kellen says, keep up the good work, guys. $10 a month for premium is 100% worth it. Well, thank you, Kellen. If you've been a premium member the last, 3-4 months, you've been doing real well. Real well. So thank you, Kellen. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Charles. Got it. I don't think I got it. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Charles Jourdain taking on a homeless Victor Henry. Charles Jourdain, 15-8 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5, a little bit on struggle street. Taking on Victor Henry, 24-6 in his career. He is 3-1-1 in his last 5. This is an interesting matchup because Charles Jourdain is a Canadian favorite. People love him there because he's very exciting. We love him here in America too. He's a guy that'll come out there, put on a show. He's always in a fight. He's exciting. But they don't really do him any favors in matchups. And all of a sudden, Charles Jourdain, these last couple of years, has not been who they thought he was a couple of years right before that. He's a fun come-forward striker. He's pretty fast. He's got great timing. He's willing to take chances. He'll throw spinning attacks, flying attacks. That's what the air Jourdain comes from.
Oh, I just remembered a funny story with Charles Jourdain when we were at 303. Remember we were walking through and I
saw him in the elevator. Yeah.
Okay, you just interrupted my story with your story. That didn't have anything to do with my fucking story.
I saw him in the elevator.
Oh yeah, we did see him. We had didn't he have his towel on or something? Or
he looked like like a sheik. He looked like a sheik.
Yeah, I think he was
because he was. Yeah, he's coming from the sauna. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but we were going to another room and they had the curtains, and it was after the press conference. You could see the fighters walking through, and I saw him and I was like, Charles, and he popped his head back in, was like this, like hey, and then the guy with the curtain goes and like closed the curtains. He was like mad that Charles did it or whatever, but he seems like a great guy. Sorry, go ahead.
He seems like a great, and he's exciting. He's fun to watch. He's the exact type of guy that you want on a roster, and he's the exact type of guy that you want on the fight card in his region because he's got a fan base and he always puts on a show for his people. He is coming off that second round KO loss to Jean Silva, where he just could not hang with the power or the clean technique. He's taking on Victor Henry. Fun come forward striker, a whole bunch of attacks. He likes to plot forward. He uses head movement to try to avoid strikes. He'll throw literally everything at you. At range, he's going to be throwing head kicks. But if he's in the pocket, he'll throw elbows. He'll throw knees. A good variety. He mixes it all together really nicely. He's getting up there in age, though. He's not young. But he hasn't slowed down. He's coming off that KO win over Anheliger, where he was taken down early, but he weathered that storm, and we saw some cardio, and we saw some striking. And I hate to do this, because we just talked about how cool Charles seems. But he's not great. He's not great. Like a few years ago, when he was getting into some of these wild scraps and putting on a show and he had a nice little win streak, we're like, holy shit, how good is Charles Jourdain? And I don't know if the sport passed him by or he's more focused on having fun than whatever, but he's just starting to lose these fights that he really should be winning. The Sean Woodson fight was a perfect fight he should have won. The more creative striker, a guy with more MMA skills, and it was a close fight, but he just couldn't. Correct. Just because they said, Sean, yeah, why? Like, why?
You go, whoa!
Yeah, he was pumped. That was in Canada as well. So, Point being, I like Charles Jourdain. I'm a fan. He's the type of guy that you need to have on the roster because he's always going to be in a fun fight, but I just don't think he's going to win here. I think Victor is too busy, throws too much on the standing, can work in too many takedowns, too good defensively. I think it's just going to be too much. The pressure, everything else. We've seen Victor Henry look spectacular. We've seen him look pretty bad, but we've seen him look spectacular. I know he's got cardio. I know he's got pressure. I wish he was a little younger, but I think Victor Henry's going to get it done. I threw a couple of bucks on him at minus 110. You can get better odds than that now. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I'm glad that you're starting to come around to kind of what I said a few years ago. I think it's been a few years now when I had my guy Marcelo Rojo as my lock of the week coming in short notice against Charles Jourdain. Because even back then, I knew that Charles Jourdain wasn't
That's
really
when
that
everybody
guy.
was like, this guy's good.
Yeah, I mean, because I think he had the Spartan kick either right before or right after that and stuff. And, yeah, but he honestly kind of struggled a little bit in the Marcelo Rojo fight. And he seems like a great guy. He's definitely tough. He's definitely going to be live for kind of weird stuff, especially on the ground. If Victor Henry comes in with a wrestling game plan for whatever reason or tries to start engaging in scrambles with Charles Jourdain, that's probably his best opportunity. But when people describe you as tough, and then you start moving around weight classes, the reason why you're moving around weight classes is because you're looking for an advantage. Why are you looking for an advantage? Because you haven't found an advantage over fighters in your own weight class. So now you're looking for an advantage in a different weight class by just being bigger than somebody, not necessarily being better than the people in your own weight class. That's kind of what is happening here. I think that Charles is a good fighter everywhere, but I just believe this is going to be an activity thing, a volume thing. Victor Henry is just going to out-volume him, out-touch him, and unless Charles Jourdain has like these big moments, which Victor Henry seems to be able to avoid in the fights where he is fighting well, I just don't see a world where Charles Jourdain is able to get this done. So the only reason I didn't place a bet on Victor Henry is because you kind of already did, and I don't like to kind of double up. But
I saw a couple of bets of yours that I liked, and I was like, fuck him.
Yeah, but I guarantee on the live stream Saturday, because I plan on doing a live stream Saturday, we're going to be betting Victor Henry for sure. I like him in this fight. I just don't think Charles is dangerous enough to have those big moments on the feet. And when you're getting outstriked 2 or 3 to 1, which is what Victor Henry can do to people, I just don't know how you win a decision.
And Victor Henry's win over Hani Barcelos, which I know Hani had a little bit of a fall off after that was an insane win. He was out wrestling a 5-time Brazilian national champion wrestler, not with technique, just with busy. He's just busy. Like Victor Henry works, and he's got plenty of cardio. So I'm on the Henry side. I wish I waited to bet because now he's plus 118 on Bet Openly, plus 100 on regular sportsbooks, so you get even more money if you're betting on Bet Openly. $8,000 in DraftKings Fantasy, $8,200 in DraftKings Fantasy for Charles. If I'm going to play this, I would prefer the Victor side, literally because of volume. He's a tough dude, so Charles isn't going to put him away with some of the craziness. And I think Victor can just be busy. Lots of volume, get a takedown or two, and working in that way.
Get in the zone!
Auto zone. Why is this the comment? AutoZone, my favorite store. I'm there. What is happening?
Get in the zone!
We need a jingle. Anyway, Unlock Premium. It is
We
only
want picks!
$10 for an entire month. It is not $9.99, Nicholas. It's a clean 10. I'm sorry. It's a penny more expensive than you thought it was. That is unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. That $10 will give you all the picks, all the bets, the round line leans, the artificial intelligence, and all the tools. We have a wild full set of tools that'll help you do your own research, build lineups for you, do all the things. WeOnPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.
So,
What?
Anyway.
Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Ariane De Silva taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius. Ariane De Silva, 17-9 in her career. 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that loss to Karine Silva that snapped a nice 3-fight win streak. She's taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius, 11-3 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5. She's on a nice 2-fight win streak. Ariane De Silva, formerly Ariane Lipski. She has been married and just broke hearts everywhere. Yep. Fuck! Pretty good fighter. Decent striker. She can grapple as well. Problem is that the grappling needs to be offensive. If she's the one that got the takedown, if she's the one on top, she can put in some real work. But if she gets backed up, if she gets taken down, She doesn't do quite as well working her way back up, and she can be controlled. In her last 4 fights, she has defended a combined 22 takedowns, and it looked like the takedown defense was on the come up. But she did just get taken down by Karine Silva 4 times and gave that fight up. Is that Jacob's dog barking? Did he just go out there and get... That dude. Jacob saw Ariane and Lipski got married, disappeared from camera. I heard a peanut butter jar open, and now his dog is struggling. This is problematic. Jasmine Jasudavicius, nasty wrestler, comes forward, push the pace with her own striking before she works in some takedowns. She's got a good clinch. She'll work in the clinch. She will shoot from the outside. She'll work you against the cage and then work in takedowns. She had a long wrestling career before coming to MMA. MMA is newer to her than wrestling. She's been wrestling the majority of her life. She's also a bad bitch who's not afraid to slug it out. She's not afraid to get into a slug fight, if you will, and she's just going to constantly be moving forward. And when this fight was first announced, there are some people on this channel that were like, ooh, Lipski's a bad matchup for Jasmine. This is going to be a tough matchup. And you know what? For a couple of fights there, it looked like, Lipski's takedown defense has been looking pretty good. And then Karine Silva just got those takedowns. Almost no problem. And now she's fighting the best wrestler that she's fought. And I think Jasmine can certainly hang in the striking. I think Jasmine could definitely pressure forward. And I think Jasmine can get the takedowns. Jasmine is the pick. I'm surprised the line is staying where it is. I'm surprised it collapsed a little bit. She was minus 184 the other day when I broke this down. So it is starting to work its way back up. But Ariane can be taken down. Jasmine can get takedowns. Sometimes 1 + 1 = 2. What do you think, Jakey boy?
It doesn't equal 2 in this matchup, and I said it against Nascimento. You don't bet against Brazilians. I'm going to say it right here against Ariane. You don't bet against Brazilians. Ariane's going to be very live in this fight. Why was Cody able to get the takedowns? Because she's a threat on the feet. She's a threat with the hands. She's a threat with the kicks. She can close that distance with the striking. You have to worry about the striking. So now Ariane has to worry about the striking. Then the takedowns are there. Why was she successful on the ground? Because Karine is a heavy-hipped, jiu-jitsu control type of wrestler, right? If she gets you on the ground, she wants to control you there. She is very good at doing that. And you saw Ariane, even in some of those positions where she has those heavy hips, was still able to get her hips out, get to those turtle positions, was able to scramble out scramble Karine, and get back to her feet a few times. Obviously, towards the end, she was getting controlled a little bit more. In this matchup, she's going to have a crazy advantage on the feet. I think we can both agree that Ariane is going to be the much better striker than Jasmine. And I like Jasmine. She is tough, and she can definitely win this fight. She's a favorite for the reason if she's able to get the takedown to control. The issue is with her takedowns, she doesn't have the hands, the striking to set it up, and those are the type of girls that Ariane can defend takedowns against. And if she does get a takedown, we've already seen Ariane be able to get out of situations and sweep better control girls like a girl like Karine. Jasmine is not a control type of girl. She gets you on the ground, she wants to fucking punish you, and that's how she hurts girls. And she's ground and pound, and she's elbowing people. But when you're doing that type of stuff against a girl who knows how to sweep, throw up stuff, use that stuff to scramble back to her feet, those are the opportunities that give those opportunities to those type of people. So you already have a girl like Ariane who's hard to hold down, even on a girl like Karine against a girl like Jasmine who's going to give her those opportunities in the striking if she can even get to the takedowns. I don't know if she can get the takedowns. If she doesn't get to the takedown, she's losing this fight. I like the striking, the takedown offense of a girl like Ariane. I think she's going to win this fight, and I could see her maybe even get a finish.
Yeah, listen, I think that's crazy. Jasmine's one of my more confident picks on this card.
Who's the better striker?
Okay, who was the better striker when Jasmine fought world champion kickboxer Gabriela Fernandez? Who's the better striker in that matchup? I'm trying to remember. Idiot. Who's the better striker? Fucking life. I think she gets the takedowns. I think it's literally that simple. I think she gets the takedowns and wins the fight because of it. I also think over 2.5 is pretty much a lock. Pretty much. Who was a better striker when she fought Priscilla Cachoeira? She knocked Priscilla Cachoeira down. Knocked her down. She almost outstruck Tracy Cortez. Smirk all you want, ding-a-ling. I think Jasmine gets it done. People talking about she was getting outstruck by Fatima. She smoked Fatima. Outstruck by Fatima. Lit her little ass up. Threw more strikes, landed more strikes. Plenty of takedowns, plenty of control. Jacob, guys, remember Jacob's attitude? Do you remember his attitude when Brandon Royval just fought a few weeks ago? He laughed, that whole show that he put on. How'd that go? $9,000 in DraftKings Fantasy. I got to look at how Jazzy scores, but typically she scores pretty well if she gets the takedowns. I just got to take a closer look and make sure she's getting to that price point. And if she does, I will. If she's consistently getting past that salary point, then I will have her in my lineup because I think she wins with wrestling. And if she gets the takedowns, we're good here. If you do want to unlock all the picks, the ones with Jasmine and the ones without, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 for an entire month. You will unlock every single fight card all the way through UFC 309 and UFC China. Why are you so hungry today? You never eat on stream. Now you can't stop. Oh, why is your mouth so dry? Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have the featured fight of the evening. We have... Hold on. Guys, we have Ariel Helwani taking on Pedro Munoz. Oh, shit. That's so good, dude. We have Aiemann Zahabi taking on Pedro Munoz. Aiemann Zahabi, 11-2 in his career. 4-1 in his last 5. And he is on a nice 4-fight win streak. Taking on Pedro Munoz. 20-9 in his career. 1-3-1 in his last 5. He is on a back-to-back loss skid. Aiemann Zahabi, the brother of Firas Zahabi, the gentleman who just revitalized the career of Rob Font. He also owns that TriStar gym that famously turned Georges St. Pierre into Georges St. Pierre. And that just means that he's been around high-level fighters and high-level coaches for a very long time. He's a pretty good fighter. Style-wise, he's well-rounded, more of a striker than anything. He can be low volume at times, but we do know he has big power. Solid takedown defense at 79% and very high fight IQ. He's coming off that win over Javid Bajrat, where I thought Javid did win the fight. I was obviously biased there, but I thought Javid did enough to get it done. But what Aiemann did really is he defended the takedowns when he needed to, and his corner was yelling and celebrating with every single punch. My only concern from that fight for Aiemann, he was kind of spamming overhand rights. And if that's the new Aiemann, just spamming overhands, looking for a knockout, that's going to be kind of a problem. He's taking on Pedro Munoz, volume striker, non-stop pace kind of guy with incredible leg kicks. He does have some dangerous jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't really take it to the ground himself. If he ends up there, great. Negative striking differential, which is a bit surprising because it looks like he's the one controlling the striking pace, and he lands at a very high 5.32 significant strikes per minute. He is coming off that second loss in a row, this time to Kyler Phillips, where somehow Kyler's cardio was what got it done. And I know we all just got burned by Kyler a few weeks ago, and a lot of you were just going to do MMA math. Kyler sucks. Kyler beat Pedro, therefore Pedro sucks. Pedro does not suck. And if you look at the people he lost to, they're good losses. He has that no contest, that 1-3-1 in his last 5. That's a no contest with Sean O'Malley where he won the first round. Objectively, factually won the first round. And the second round, there was an eye poke and that fight was over. Pedro Munoz is a good striker. He's a busy striker. He's tough. He's durable. He did really well with Chito Vera. But I still think Aiemann Zahabi is going to get it done. I think Aiemann Zahabi is going to be able to touch when he needs to touch, move when he needs to move, stay busy, stay active, and just have the IQ to get him through this fight. So Aiemann Zahabi is going to be the pick. He has flipped, or the line's starting to tighten, and he hasn't flipped. I don't think he will flip, but that line has started to tighten.
Well, I got him
almost even money at Bet Only. You got him as a dog?
Yeah, I got him as a dog.
He was a dog when I broke. He was a dog when I broke him down the other day, but I didn't pull the trigger on it.
And if you guys were premium members and you saw me place that bet on Sunday, I believe he was plus 110 when I bet Aiemann Zahabi. It was a full free premium bet for him. That's just I can give that away for free because that's the value we bring. It's not only about tailing these bets that you try to get the best value for, but it's also a lot of tools and stuff that you can use. Go to WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. You laughing at my pitch?
No, I'm laughing at this joke. They fall short. It wasn't about you, dummy. It was about Pedro Munoz. Look how sensitive he is about being short, everybody. because you're short.
I wasn't getting offensive at all. I was
about
to really go into this right here.
Sorry, go ahead. Who do you think wins this fight? Well, we know you already bet. We know you already bet on Aiemann. Why don't you tell us why?
If Angelo will stop talking here, I want to talk to you dumb bitches out there, you stupid fucks, okay? Because I know you're watching this video, and I know you're not premium members, and I know you've kind of wishy-washy considered it, right? Well, guess what? I guarantee in your bet ticket right now, or up to Saturday, you're going to have $10 on a fucking shit-ass parlay or some bullshit fucking prop bet that isn't going to hit. You know it's not going to hit, and I know it's not going to hit, and then that $10, what, is gone. Okay? Listen to me right now. WeWantPicks.com for that $10. You can get a whole month worth of fucking shit. My best, Angelo's best, tools, stuff to make you not only turn in from a gambler into a bettor, but maybe into a capper one day. Because this isn't about just tailing something and hoping underdogs hit and hoping this fucking big parlay hits so we can say we're up for the year. And I'm going to bet 7 dogs and hope that 3 of them hit so I can be up plus money. These are well thought out information, but it's about making you better with your own analysis and your own picks. And it's $10 okay? So instead of you placing that fucking parlay for $10 this week, why don't you give us a chance? That's all we're asking for you. Just give us a chance. You sign up 4 weeks, see what happens. Then you can cancel if you want, but for $10, I think you're going to realize. You can
cancel instantly after signing up, and you'll still have access.
I think you're gonna realize it's gonna be fucking worth it. I got money on Aiemann Zahabi because I just think he's gonna have the bigger moments. Listen, Pedro Munoz, he ain't what he used to be. I know he used to be that young gunner, the young punisher, high volume, in your face, can eat shots, is going to return shots. That fighter that I saw against Kyler Phillips was a broken man because Kyler wasn't pushing it was a pace, but it wasn't a crazy pace, and Pedro was just like frozen in there. That's why he lost the fight because of inactivity. So if he comes in and he's inactive against another inactive fighter who Zahabi can be, and also an inactive fighter, I'm going to pick Zahabi 10 out of 10 times because when he goes, he's going to have the bigger moments. He throws the bigger shots. He lands the bigger shots. And Pedro Munoz is a tough son of a bitch. And why do we know that he's a tough son of a bitch? Because he gets hit. And if you're getting hit by Zahabi, it usually doesn't feel good for what we've seen in times past. I just think Zahabi's going to have the bigger moments. I trust him to have those bigger moments. And unless Pedro is outstriking him 2-1, I think those big moments are going to win him the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. We're both on the same side here. I also think he's very high fight IQ. So I think he's going to be able to avoid the sheer volume coming from the Pedro side, land some of the effective shots, move forward, do well. He's also Canadian. His brother is a Canadian MMA legend. I think all of that's going to work in his favor. Over 2.5 is probably pretty safe here.
Get in the zone.
You can get him at dog money in DraftKings Fantasy at $7,900. I do
looks
like
Ariel. Have you noticed that?
Holy shit, dude.
Have you noticed? Hold on.
That's
dude, look
crazy.
At this. Hold on. No, look at this.
Dude.
Do you think he does? Hold on. I'm going to pick.
That's crazy. Hold on. No. That's crazy.
Hold on. You guys see this? Look.
Dude, you should mention this on your podcast. People would love it if you mention on your podcast.
Hold on. Let me find a good one. Yeah. Look at this. This guy looks like Ariel. Holy shit. You're not gonna believe this. Holy shit. Holy. Look at this picture. Look at this. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That dude looks just like Ariel Helwani. If you guys know, Ariel Helwani's like an MMA journalist. I don't know if you guys know Ariel, but he's like an MMA journalist. I think he's got a show or something. And dude, this guy Aiemann Zahabi looks just like fucking.
That's crazy. Dude, you should mention that on your podcast. People will love it. That's good stuff. You know what else is good stuff? Premium. No, if you want $50, we'll send you $50. WeWantPicks.com/bets. We have affiliate deals with a whole bunch of different books. You use the link to sign up with the book. You make a deposit. You fill out your little claim form so that we can verify you actually use the link. And then you get $50 because they're going to pay us. It's affiliate marketing. I'm going to slice off some of the money they give to us, and I'm going to give it right to you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use it to become a premium member if you'd like, and you can unlock bets like this. This is how well we did at UFC 308. And UFC 308 is a funny card. And this is the difference between the boys at We Want Picks and, I should have said the men at We Want Picks and the boys everywhere else. Because what should have been a pretty straightforward card for us was a pretty straightforward card. It was. For others, they were chasing wild crap, betting with their heart. I want Max. I want Robert Whittaker.
I just gave
three,
like a 5-minute
units.
fucking preview. Let's move
No,
on.
Shut up. But we didn't. We stayed controlled. I'm proud of what we did at UFC 308. And I know I got a gift. Watch the vlog. You can watch my live reaction to the gift that was the Renat Fakhretdinov decision. And sometimes the MMA gods look out for its people.
Goes around, goes around, goes around.
Hey, we've been screwed plenty of times, so it's nice to just win one.
Why is Zach Attack even fucking here?
Some people are just miserable losers, and this is where they get it all out. Data analyzers.
We're on a podcast to talk, and this guy is, do you ever shut the fuck up? All right, let's hear. Let's give it 1 minute. Let's do this for Zach. Let's just sit here. Let's not say anything for Zach.
I mean, they are brutal.
Come on.
No, I'm going to keep going. No, I can't sit in silence. I'm not allowed. This graphic are the next 4 fight cards that you get with premium. It's only $10 for all the reasons we've mentioned continuously throughout this show. And here is the P.O. box.
Oh, he's sick of the pitch. Well, guess what, motherfucker?
I'm trying to go to Brazil. Okay? I'm trying to live in Brazil. Okay? How do we do that? We become successful bettors. We get you guys involved to become successful bettors, and we all make money together, and in that process, people are signing up for fucking premium, and it's all a big fucking loving family. So Zach Attack, you can go kiss my fucking ass, become a premium member just to stick it to fucking Zach Attack right now, you stupid bitch. Don't fuck up what's going on.
There you go. We got mail already for the UFC 309 mail day. This one is addressed to Angelica, so that's going to be interesting to open. Feels like a letter. This one feels like a letter with something in it.
Oh my God! Imagine you hear a snap and all of a sudden it just starts like the room fills up with smoke or something, and just like it's like fucking rice and gas, and I just watch you fucking collapse, and then all of this is mine.
If you want to send something, we'll read the letters, we'll eat the food, we'll do all the things. P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. First up, at the UFC Edmonton main card, we have Mike Malott taking on Trevin Giles. Mike Malott, 10-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the insane last-second loss to Neil Magny. Taking on Trevin Giles, 16-6. in his career. 2-3 in his last 5. He's on a 2-fight skid. Mike Malott, we just got to get the hate out of our heart and break this down nice and clean. Mike Malott, a well-rounded guy. Loose striking style allows him to box and kickbox comfortably. Technically sound, he manages range pretty well. He doesn't have a specific background, and he's a true MMA fighter. He has 5 fights in the UFC. He has 2 knockdowns, a knockout, 3 submission wins, and most recently was dominating Neil Magny before getting smoked with like 30 seconds left. He's taking on Trevin Giles. Trevin Giles is also a wildly athletic guy. He's got a good jab. He's pretty light in his feet. He does a nice job working in and out of range. He throws in combinations. He'll reset. At one point in time, they talked about he's got the best jab in MMA. Good takedown defense has 71% because he is very athletic, and he uses that athleticism to keep his hips moving. He sets a nice pace. He's usually in fights for a good amount of time, but he did look a little out of sorts last fight where he wasn't throwing like crazy. He was kind of reserved and then ultimately got knocked out by Carlos Prates. If you're still mad at Mike Malott for losing to Neil Magny, I get it. The dude was a tremendous favorite. He was also dominating that fight and looked like a tremendous favorite, and then he straight up quit. The fight got a little bit tough. He was in a little bit of trouble, and he straight up quit. What are you laughing at? Oh, Clayton Bigsby?
No.
Oh, this? Yeah, I'll pop a tit out. You send $100.
Oh my God. Dude, somebody's gonna fucking do that now.
Oh no, not $100.
I think we'll get banned. You start doing sexual favors for money.
Is that anyway?
You can't do that.
Mike Malott screwed a lot of people in his last fight. He also showed that he's a bit of a quitter, and he has a quit button. And I think we're getting a quitter's discount on this line. Minus 250 seems like a very favorable line. He is a good fighter. He's got good hands. He's got good wrestling. He's well-rounded. He should be faster. He should be stronger. He should be the way better wrestler. I'm going to pick Mike Malott. I do have, I mentioned in the quick picks video, Vietnam-style flashbacks of him on his back with 30 seconds left, quitting Quitting twice in a row. Quitting twice in a row would be absolutely insane. I think Mike Malott gets it done.
In the Vietnam War? Did you?
I think Mike Malott gets it done, and I think.
How old were you when that broke out?
Yeah, I wasn't alive.
Right?
Yeah, I was right there.
You were just under the draft.
I used my Italian passport. I dodged the draft with my Italian passport. I do have an Italian passport.
Whoa, Angelo the draft dodger. Heard it here first, folks. Whoa, stumbling over the words. We've got the draft dodger, Angelo. Yeah, let's go ahead.
I'm trying to find this passport. I don't know where it is. Who do you think wins, Jakey boy?
It's not good. Shouldn't be losing passports. Listen.
It's an Italian passport. So.
Excuse me. If you're Mike Malott, this is the fight that, you should win. More rustling and bustling in the background, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
Yeah, just keep going.
I can't find it, so passport's gone.
This should be a fight that you win. I mean, Trevin Giles is a guy that in his last 6 fights, honestly, could almost be 0-6 in his last 6 fights. He finds ways to lose fights. The Carlos Prates fight, right? He was having too much success, ended up getting knocked out. Gabriel Bonfim right into a guillotine for no real reason. Preston Parsons basically blew that fight going for an armbar late. That was, I think, my lock of the week versus Trevin Giles. Luis Koska was his one win that was actually a win. That was a decision win. Luis Koska is on the fucking regional scene for Uriah Faber's promotion these days. Loses to Michael Morales, loses the DDP, which is nothing too crazy at 185. And then his last win before that was the Roman Dolidze win, where Trevin was my lock of the week. And I think we both know that Trevin probably did not win that fight. So really, he could be 0-6 in his last 6 fights pretty easily. Like I said earlier, when you're changing weight classes to get an advantage of somebody, you know that you don't have the skills to compete at your natural weight class. Obviously, this is probably a more natural weight class at 170, and it's not his first fight at 170 being Trevin Giles, but he was moving down to try to find an advantage. He hasn't found it yet. And I think Mike Malott's got all the tools to probably just get this fight to the ground and out-grapple him. But if you want to mess around on the feet, Trevin's shown he can be chinny as well. So I like Mike Malott here. If you're losing to Trevin, then you're not that fucking dude. You better fucking smoke this guy, get it done early, and do what you got to do in front of the home fans. So I'm on Mike Malott. I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I know Trevin pretty well. I picked against him for lock of the week. I picked him lock of the week. Got a great jab. And if Mike Malott starts hanging out on the outside and thinking he's just going to box with this guy and touch this guy, he's going to get his fucking nose busted in, and he's going to be tired, and then things get weird. Trevin Giles is a very good jab, very good boxer, but he also can get hit, he can get taken down and stuff like that. So should be Mike Malott win.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the same page here. Here is the passport. I found it. Angelo's Italian passport. Here, let me cover some.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try to show that.
Yeah, okay. Good call. I'm an American citizen and an Italian citizen. So, yeah. And somebody asked, how did I get that? Because my parents are immigrants, so I'm just one step removed. Anyway, we're both on the same page here. I genuinely, what?
What is the supreme law of the land? Is it A, the Declaration of Independence, B, the Bill of Rights, C, the Constitution, or D, the Mayflower Compact? What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution. America, baby.
That's correct.
Okay, we're not doing that.
How many amendments are there? 12, 101, 10, or 27?
27. Can we be done with this, please?
That's
Thank
correct.
you.
I want to make sure that I'm a little bit concerned now that you're not actually an American citizen. We're going to figure this the fuck out.
I am also, here's the American.
Speaking of, how many amendments make up the Bill of Rights?
I got both.
27, 10,
92,
5, or 3.
92.
27, 10, 5, or 3. Bill of Rights.
I'm done here. I'm trying to break down these fights. What? Okay. I'm trying to break down. There's 10. Anyway, Mike Malott, 10-2. I think he's 11-2. I think this matchup is this matchup for a reason. And I think he's going to get it done. I mentioned it several times over. I think we get the quitters discount here. Minus 250 should get it done. Trevin Giles, like you said, is the guy that can just pump that jab and make something happen. WeWantPicks.com. Click becoming members. $10 for an entire month to unlock all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and everything else.
Here you go.
I'm done with the dumbass questions.
What's the First Amendment grant? Is it protection of property, freedom of religion,
Speech.
right to a fair trial, or the right to bear
$1.90.
arms?
The First Amendment?
Yep.
It's the freedom of speech.
Is it protection of property, freedom of religion, the right to a fair trial, or the right to bear arms?
It's none of those.
You got to pick one. There's none of the above, Angelo.
First Amendment, freedom of speech. Like, you're just making shit up now to tell me I'm wrong? Anyway.
These are what it says. You got to pick one.
We're done here. $1.99 from Brian Velasquez. He basically sent $1.99 twice. This one says, can we get Jake on OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., on Prize Picks to do some picks? Jacob doesn't do the extra videos. Would you like to break down some Prize Picks for the people, Jacob boy?
I don't think Prize doesn't pay me shit.
There we go. Well, that's not true. It's calculated into everything.
Well, I don't pay much.
First time you're figuring that out.
Do you know that if you use Artem's promo code, Artem makes more per premium transaction than I do?
Well, that's true. He makes more per premium transaction
Almost
than I do.
Double.
He makes more than I do, stupid.
Almost double.
Artem gets 50%. If you sign up for premium using his code, he gets 50%. I don't get 50%. You don't get 50%.
Double.
Josh doesn't get. He gets more than all of us per transaction of his promo code. It's just how that, more than all of us. Promo code Artem. Don't use his promo code because we
It's free.
Next up.
Religion, idiot.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It literally is not.
That's what's all encompassing, you dumb bitch. In short, Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Fundamental freedoms. Got it. So what's it called? The fundamental freedom line?
Oh, now you're involved. Let's answer the next one then.
No, we're done.
Which of these is not the right?
Hate this. We're done. I clean slate so far. I can't go down in a loss.
These are actually a little bit easier than I thought they were going to be. I thought it was going to be like random presidents and stuff.
Or like whatever people always screw up. What are the 3 branches of government? That fucks everybody up.
Executive, judicial. Go ahead. What's the other one if you think you know?
No. No, we're turning the slate.
I know what it is. I'm not fucking answering for you. I named 2 of the 3. The easiest one is yours.
It's legislative. Not opening up. Next up on the UFC Edmonton fight card, we got Marc-Andre Barrault taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. Marc-Andre Barrault, 16-8 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is on a 2-fight skid. Taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. Dustin Stoltzfus, 15-6 in his career, also 2-3 in his last 5. Alternating wins and losses. This is another seemingly favorable matchup for a Canadian. Marc-Andre Barrault's a pretty well-rounded guy. He's got solid kickboxing, good takedowns, good jiu-jitsu. Typically looking to pressure forward, wear you down on your feet, impressive striking volume, almost 6 significant strikes landed per minute. But he's also hit with a ton, more than 5. He's not really powerful, but he is busy enough and tough enough to grind out wins. He's coming off that knockout loss to Joey P. He's taking on Dustin Stoltzfus, busy striker on his side as well, but he has a ton of power. He's also a BJJ black belt. He's been wrestling more as of late with 11 takedowns in 5 fights.
He's not a BJJ black belt. I think he's a brown belt. He's got a black belt in, what is it called? Lucha Libre or something like that?
Did we have this conversation already? I got like deja vu there.
I've talked about it before because it's basically the Brazilian Sambo. It's basically combat jiu-jitsu.
Oh, didn't you DM him and ask him? I think you DM'd him and asked him once. Or somebody did. If it's not him, it's a different fighter. We had this exact debate. We literally just asked him. Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember, but it literally is like the Brazilian Sambo is what he's a black belt in, which it's not just jiu-jitsu. It's actually with actual takedowns, and combat and stuff like that. So,
well, he's been working in more takedowns late as well with 11 in his last 5. He'll hang out and strike inside the pocket. Chin doesn't always allow him to do that, but he is a tough guy. He will hang and he will fight until his body gives up on him. His losses are to quality opponents. So you'll see, alternating wins and losses. The losses are quality, and he's beating the people he's supposed to beat. I do think this matchup is made for Marc-Andre to have some success. Dustin will be very dangerous early. He'll probably fade for a little bit. Mark should be able to weather the storm, pick up the volume, and take over. I'm expecting a ton of output from Mark, but I do think this fight could potentially go long. I don't know what to do with this round line. I've gone back and forth on it a few times, but the pick is going to be Marc-Andre, but I don't love that. And a 1.5 round line over seems like a much better, if that's the round line offered to you on your sports book, that seems like sort of a better play than picking a side here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I'm a big, I like Dustin. He is a former lock of the week, and it was at one point his only win in the UFC was the week he was the lock of the week. So I know Dustin Stolzfus very, very well. I mentioned the wrestling, the grappling acumen that he brings into the fight. So what I like about this...
Acumen? That ain't it, dog. I don't know why I meowed.
Just let that digest.
Here's the silence for that fucking dork that wanted it earlier.
Let's let that digest a little bit. Yeah, and I apologize, guys, for the unprofessionalism because now I lost my train of thought. Because that Bruno fight. So that Bruno fight, he came in and he shot the takedown. And he was getting the control. What I like about Dustin in this fight is after that fight, he basically said, I fucked up. I let everyone down. I abandoned the game plan. What game plan was that? Was probably the wrestling and the grappling because he saw he was going to have the success in that type of fight. He's very high level in his wrestling, in his grappling. Marc-Andre Barrieu is a guy that I have tried to fade in the past for my lock of the week. Why? Because I know that he can get taken down. I picked Jourdain fucking Wright against Marc-Andre Barrieu as my lock of the week, however long ago that was, because I knew he could be taken down. Jourdain fucking Wright was ragged on this guy. Marc-Andre had to pull a guillotine to stop the takedowns. He was mauled by Fluffy. He's been mauled by a few people, and I believe that Dustin didn't do the game plan against Bruno, paid the price for it. He saw a little bit in the Puna fight. Once he was able to get that takedown, how fast he was able to get the back and get that and choke him out. The reason why I stayed away from Dustin as far as bets right now and as far as my lock of the week, because I was going to pick my lock of the week, I rewatched that Puna fight, and he was eating all those shots, but boy, was he eating some fucking shots from Puna. I mean, he was fucking eating them, and I know he's been knocked out with a front kick and a back elbow, but those are kind of weird shots anyway. He was eating those shots versus Puna, but he does not really move his head. Marc-Andre definitely has some power to be able to hurt somebody. Both these guys are coming off of KO losses. Well, that's more for his energy than his actual punching power. But both these guys are coming off KO losses. Definitely Marc-Andre was a lot worse. I mean, he was pretty much flatlined and then hit again by Pfeiffer on the way down. And both these guys are coming off KO losses only like 3 or 4 months ago. I think Dustin comes in with a wrestle-heavy game plan. If he does it, I think he can fucking smoke Marc-Andre on the ground. I think he's that good. So I like Dustin here. Personally, I played him by sub. I think it was plus 400, plus 500, something like that. I think he can get the job done. He's not my lock of the week because he was getting lit up by Puna, even though he ended up winning that fight. But he's a tough son of a bitch, man, and he's a very high level. I mean, he's not a jiu-jitsu, grab your leg, and he's trying to... I mean, he fucking picks people up over his head and fucking slams them down. He's that type of grappler.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Marc-Andre wins just because of the volume and the durability on his side. I think it's a long fight, and he'll squeak out a close one at home.
50 to win 300. Dustin plus 600 by submission.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I was hoping for a 1.5 round line because I would have hammered the over, but it's a 2.5, and I just don't know what to do that.
There was no broken bones in his. It was just tendon type stuff. It's almost like oral bay as well, but it wasn't that bad. But there was no broken bones, so he went out as long as he needed to be. It was just a short little rehab thing.
Well, there you go. $8,900, Marc-Andre Barrieu. I don't know if I'm going to spend that. I'll have to take a look. I think it depends on his game plan and how he gets it going. It depends on, is he just going to be striking and busy and moving forward, or is he going to be shooting takedowns trying to change this game? I think he's just going to be busy striking and moving forward. I also thought he was going to beat Chris Curtis, which he wasn't able to do. So I'm probably going to fade Marc-Andre both in DraftKings and real life.
Yeah, he was known as that pressure fighter. Against Chris Curtis, he was a little bit frozen. Against Pfeiffer, obviously Pfeiffer's a little bit of a different animal, but he was kind of frozen in that fight as well, and he got knocked out. if you let Dustin get on your fucking hips, you're going for a fucking ride.
Yeah, and like he was supposed to beat Chris Curtis because Chris Curtis is a counter striker. Marc-Andre's a ton of volume, stay in his face, he's at home, but like Chris Curtis was the one with the volume. It's like, what the hell is happening here? So it did go that direction. So I was wrong on that pick with Marc-Andre. Therefore, because I'm a normal human being who learns from his mistakes, I'm not betting on that guy again. Not at minus 180. That's crazy. If you do want to check out who we did bet on, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's $10 for an entire month's worth of access. That gets you all the way through UFC 309. We have this comment from Drew Main. Hello, I signed up for premium last weekend. I didn't see the safety parlay, which hit. Where is that? The Discord or the website? Well, the answer is both. The website should always be your go-to. Everything is on the website. Every tool, everything is on the website. A million things. The Discord has just the bets, just a running list of the bets in the Premium Alerts channel. But it's on the website. There's literally in the menu. First of all, after you sign up, you get an email saying welcome and a whole video tutorial walking you through everything. Second of all, on the website, just look at the menu. It'll say official bets. It's there. You'll see picks. You'll see top picks. You'll see it's very easy to work your way through. So also next time, send an email. If you're looking for something, send an email. All right, let's go. Next up. At UFC Edmonton, we have Kyle Machado taking on Breeton Ribeiro. Kyle Machado, 8-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is looking for his first UFC win. He's taking on Breeton Ribeiro, 3-2 in his last 5 as well, but 15-7 in his career. And he is also looking for his first UFC win. This is definitely a win or go home style matchup. Kyle Machado is a pretty well-rounded guy. He's also, yes, he's a Brazilian, but he's the Canadian in this matchup. He lived in Canada for quite some time, spent a good chunk of his life there, so he's going to be the hometown guy here, if you will. He's a pretty well-rounded guy. New generation of heavyweight, so he's not tremendous. He's sitting around 240, 250. He stays active instead of just being big and powerful, one-punch kind of guy. Not the cleanest striker, but he does have good volume, good footwork. He'll back up. He'll throw counters. He'll push forward. He's got nice clinch work. Okay takedowns. Underrated BJJ. He is coming off that decision loss to Dontel Mays, where you saw some good speed and some movement. Taking on Breeton Ribeiro. This guy's all offense. He's an offensive striker, good grappling. He likes to move forward. He'll bomb away, but he is very hittable. His takedowns are mediocre, but if the fight does end up on the ground, he's very aggressive. He'll hunt for submissions. He's dangerous both on top and off his back if you take him down. He can win a fight anywhere, but he does have a quit button, and he can be finished. If you hang tough and you get in his face, you could have a whole bunch of success. He's coming off that lost to Magomed Gutsaloyev, where he just started panic wrestling and diving at legs. And just real quick, funny story I said in the quick picks, I'll say it again here. Jacob and I were in the VIP for UFC 303. Kyle Barallo was there. Couldn't have been a nicer guy, was hanging out, doing all the things. He was like, it smelled great. He said, I know your channel. I know We Want Picks. So we should get you on a call-in show. He's like, I'd love to do it. He subscribed to the channel. He's like, I know who you guys are. And I was like, great. And he's like, just shoot me a message. And I didn't want to ask him for his phone number. It'd be all fucking weird. So I went to Instagram. We were back in the hotel room. I go to send a message. He responds to the message. And it's basically like, yeah. I was like, nice meeting you at VIP today. Blah, blah, blah. This is who we are. This is how many subscribers we have. Just a reminder so it's not, Joey's podcast with 8 people on it. And we went back and forth. It wasn't until a week later. It literally wasn't until a week later when I got a screenshot of him being like, all right, let's do it. This Thursday, I'll be on. And I sent it to Jacob and Josh the Web Guy. And Josh the Web Guy's like, who's Kyle Machado? I was like, what? I was messaging Kyle Machado that whole time. So my bad. That's on me. And after this fight, he wins the fight. If he wants to, would love to have him on the show. So that's on me. All that being said, I do think Kyle Machado wins here. I just think he has to stay durable early. If he stays durable early, he can take over. He can get it done. I think he's just a little better everywhere. He's not the more dangerous guy, but he's definitely a little more technical. He's not the more athletic guy, but he's a little more technical. So I'm just going to lean on the guy that's technical, durable, not wild, to just do what he's supposed to do and not gas himself out trying to be crazy and then ultimately quitting. So Kyle Machado is going to be the pick, but I'm probably avoiding this with my money. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I don't know why this is on the main card. Honestly, somebody mentioned that. Put Youssef.
It's because he's Canadian.
On this and Okay. Well, I still don't understand why
literally
it's on
why.
the main card. But there's other Canadians, and you don't have to have fucking Canadians on the fucking main card. Let's get a better main card. I don't give a fuck about this fight. Ribero's probably the more wild striker. We'll see how Kyle handles the 205 speed coming down from heavyweight. I think Ribero's more dangerous, and he's going to be my pick, but I'm not betting shit.
All right. So it's basically the same breakdown I had. You just got there a little faster. Kyle's the... Wait, you picked Kyle?
No.
Oh. Opposite. So same breakdown, different conclusion. You picked the more dangerous guy. I'm picking the more reliable guy.
Sure.
All right. Well, if you want to just see the picks, they're all listed out for you. Mine, Jacob's, Artem's, and the artificial intelligence. If you want to see who should be in your DraftKings lineup, well, we'll give you our opinion. I don't think either one of these guys will necessarily be worth it because I don't think Breedson gets the finish, and I think Kyle sort of grinds to a win. But let the optimizer figure that out for you. Let the ownership projections and the scoring projections figure that out for you as well. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's $10 for an entire month. Here's a screenshot of that DM. You can pause if you want to read it. Nothing crazy, but it was this screenshot or a variation of this screenshot that I sent to Jacob and Josh, and he was like, wait, that's not Kyle Barallo. And then big whoopsie. The show, it sort of fell apart because the week he wanted to come on the show was July 4th. And July 4th was on a Thursday. So I was like, well, we're not doing it today. We're doing it next weekend. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. All right, I'll reach out next week. And then either he realized or what, but we didn't connect again. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have Derek Lewis taking on Jourdain Denise. Battle of the heavy-handed heavyweight. Somebody's getting knocked out. At least somebody should get knocked out. And that's what we have. We have two big guys that will swing. This is not a complicated fight to break down. We got Derek Lewis, 28-12 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that knockout win over Rodrigo Nascimento, taking on Jourdain Denise, 8-0, undefeated in his career with 7 knockouts. I'm going to keep this as short as possible. Derek Lewis is quite literally the knockout king. He has more knockouts in the UFC than any other fighter in any other weight class in history. And that's what he is. You're never going to see him shoot a takedown. You're not going to see him do anything technical. He's not even going to be winning the striking exchanges.
Wait, what?
He's not going to be...
What did you say?
What issue did you have with that?
Are you talking about Derek Lewis?
Yes.
You say he's never going to shoot a takedown.
Obviously, the word never is a bit of an exaggeration, but the point was being made, Jacob. He's kind of got one game plan. Bomb away. How many takedowns do you think he's had in his career, Jacob?
Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
He has 10.
8, 9.
Over 30
10.
fights, he's got 10.
Sounds a lot more than ever.
The takedown in the last fight against Rodrigo Nascimento, which involved a knockdown, was his first takedown in 1, 2, 3, 4. Was his first takedown in how many years is this? 3 years. And the person before that was Tai Tuivasa because Tai Tuivasa was lighting him up. Point being, Derek Lewis is going to come forward and bomb away. That's what Derek Lewis is going to do. If you take him down, he'll literally just stand up on you. Tons of power. Insanely dangerous. Taking on Jourdain Denise. Jourdain Denise is a very good striker. He's got clean technique. He has incredible power. He has professional kickboxing experience. He can't really defend a takedown. So this might be a fight where Derek Lewis all of a sudden is going to shoot a bunch of takedowns. But Derek Lewis is a fan guy. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to put on a show. I think he's going to stand and bang for a little bit and see what happens. Jourdain Denise is technical. He is coming off the decision win over Carl Williams where he was landing big early, had that guy in ice skates, and then did get taken down and did look absolutely useless after he did. To me, this is a 50-50 fight. To see the line completely flip and then widen is a bit surprising because Derek Lewis, as a dog, could absolutely get this done. And that's going to continue to, if that's going to continue to widen and continue to get crazy, I might bet on him. 50-50 fight. Derek Lewis can get the knockout here. I'm probably going to predict Jourdain Denise, though, because he's just the more technical striker. But obviously what worries me is how insanely useless he looked on the ground when Carl Williams got it there. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I believe by my quick calculation, Derek Lewis has shot a takedown on 5 of his last 7 fights. So
5 of his last 7 fights? How is that possible?
Okay, let's go through it. Nascimento obviously shot a takedown. Jailton Almeida, he shot 2 takedowns.
No. You went through how many attempts. I was just going through how many he actually gets. So a lot of those fights
he said he doesn't. You're
okay. All right, here we go.
Takedowns.
Guys, I was wrong. Derek Lewis shoots takedowns. Okay, your breakdown. Who do you think wins? Yeah. See how simple.
And for that good reason, I believe I'm going to pick Derek Lewis. I don't expect him to come in and beat Jailton Almeida, but he did come in against Nascimento and immediately close the distance, body lock, inside trip. And Derek Lewis, one of his best assets in fights is when he gets people on the ground, when he gets people against the cage, and he can rely on the big ground and pound. When people are trying to get back to their feet, he can just fucking hammer fist the fucking hell out of them. You saw Francis do the same thing. When you get people in those positions, you can just fucking unleash on them because if they want to get back to the feet, they have to expose their feet. I would not be surprised at all if Derek Lewis comes in and shoots a takedown on a guy that he knows can be taken down. And it's not about getting the takedown of the control, looking for a submission. It's about getting people down so they have to get back to their fucking knees to get up, and that's when you fucking unleash. I have no doubt in my mind that Derek Lewis is probably going to shoot a takedown at some point. I'm going Derek Lewis because Jonathan Denise, to me, is not the crazy good kickboxing striker that I've seen. Is there a world where he stays on the outside, busts up the front leg of Derek Lewis, use his speed, because he's going to have the speed advantage, just kind of point fight the entire time, frustrate Derek Lewis? Yeah, there is that world. But if he gets in a fucking fist fight with this guy, he's going to get knocked out. I believe Derek Lewis can take this guy down, not to use it to get a fucking mount or get his back, a body triangle. Take him down. You get up first. Now he's got to get up, and I'm going to punch him in his head while he's getting up because he can't get up in the right way. I'm going Derek Lewis. I think he upsets this dude, and Derek Lewis by submission is plus 3,500.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, oh yeah. Oh, so now when somebody laughs at the breakdown, it's rude and stupid. Got it. I do think you said if they get into a fist fight, Shanada's getting knocked out. I mean, Derek Lewis has been knocked out multiple times.
Denise was hurt and couldn't fuck it out and knock down or hurt Carl Williams.
I mean, that was a little alarming. I agree with you. It should be an interesting fight. This should be one of the more fun heavyweight fights because I do think they'll go at it. I don't think Derek Lewis will be a boring Khabib. 1.5. The over 1.5 is plus money. I avoided it. I considered betting both sides of that. I was talking myself up and down, but I was like, man, heavyweights, you just never know. You might get a staring contest. You might just get an absolute bang bong. Of course, it's a Derek Lewis fight. Of course, it ended in one round. So I did. What lean would you have on the round? Over or under 1.5? Over's plus money.
Well, I mean, Derek Lewis has kind of come out the last few fights like a fucking bat out of hell, just rushing
that
across
flying
the octagon.
knee.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just rushed across, tries to get this to the ground, and then fucking just tries to smoke him immediately. So it's a dangerous line wherever it is.
That's why I was talking myself in and out. And I honestly, round lines for a while there were like very, very successful. And then I got burned on a couple safety parlays with round lines. So I'm like, I'm trying to avoid round lines for a little bit, unless I'm wildly comfortable. If you do want to check out the safety parlay this week and all the other bets, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month. That month includes all the picks, the bets, and the tools. One of those tools is the line movement tracker. This is the second comment today. This card has a ton of line movement. And the tracker is what's making it so obvious for people. So a fake Sean Shelby says, how sure are you that this is the opening line for this fight? I am positive. And a lot of you just go to the free-ass Best Fight Odds website. Problem with that is they don't have all the sports books on there. They don't have the most important sports books on there. Bet Openly is one of the most popular sports books for betting on UFC, if not the most popular UFC sports book.
Do books pay to be on there?
I don't know if they do. Then they got rid of them. I assume,
which seems like a wild choice.
I assume Bet Online. I assume there's like an affiliate link built into that or something. Like there's definitely something going on. It's not just out of the goodness of their heart. And we pay for our odds. We get them from Odds Jam. Odds Jam sells the odds. They're not free. And they have APIs into every single sportsbook, including Bet Online and a bunch of the others. So we see the very opening lines, the true opening lines. By the time they make their way to the other sites, like how many times we get people on DraftKings, like, oh, there's a dude. By the time DraftKings gets a line, I mean, you're talking Wednesday. where some of these are popping up weeks, if not months ahead of time. So anyway, to answer that question, I am very sure that our opening lines are correct, and they're going to look different than other people's because we pay for them. They're not free. You can't just grab them. Obviously, if you see them with your own eyes, sure, but we pay for them from a site.
Hello, sweet baby.
Oh, it's the dog. Oh, fuck. Next up at UFC Edmonton, we have the Co. How come I don't hear that dog feeder anymore?
I think she's got an eye infection. I put in drops in.
Oh, really? That sucks. How'd that happen?
Well, she's just old. I don't know. Just fucking.
She's not that
Sniffing
old
shit.
to be getting random infections.
Just
Must have
eye,
scratched
I mean, just eye infection. She's over 9 years old.
Oh, you don't think me.
Dude, a 9-year-old lab's like, that's half. Anyway, next up at UFC Edmonton, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Rose Namajunas taking on Erin Blanchfield. This is a fight that has a lot of people split, and the Erin Blanchfield fanboys are still out and about, even after the drudging in her last fight. I got a lot of hate for my pick here, which is sort of an indication of which way I'm going. We got Rose Namajunas, 13-6 in her career, 3-2 in her last 5, riding a nice little win streak at 125 pounds. Taking on Erin Blanchfield, 12-2 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off that one-sided loss to Manon Fiorot. Rose Namajunas was the former world champion of the weight class below this. A multiple-time former world champion. One of the best to ever do it at the weight class below this. A very good fighter everywhere. She's got good technical striking. She's got good jiu-jitsu. She's got good wrestling. She can stay busy. There's some power. She's sneaky. Like, Rose Namajunas is a very good fighter that has more accomplishments than most people will ever dream of. She has moved up in weight. Since moving up in weight, she lost to Manon Fiorot in her first fight in a good back-and-forth fight. She lost a 29-28 decision. It might have been a split. Then she has 2 good wins. She beat Amanda Hebos. Sorry, that wasn't intentional. She beat Amanda Hebos in an absolute war of a fight, 5 full rounds. She just beat Tracy Cortez in a much more straightforward fight, 5 rounds. And now she's fighting Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield might be the best grappler she's ever fought. Because Erin Blanchfield is that. She's a phenomenal grappler. She's nasty on the ground. She comes forward, she throws punches, and then immediately looking to get you to the cage and get you to the ground. She is trying to improve the striking, trying to improve the takedowns. She averages around 6 significant strikes per minute because she's very busy with her hands. She averages about 2 takedowns per fight. But she is coming off that one-sided loss to Manon Fiorot where she was just outclassed. She did show us how tough she is. And that fight looked exactly like a Mackenzie Dern fight. A desperate grappler who cannot get the takedowns but is insanely tough. And that's basically who Erin Blanchfield is. She's insanely tough. On the ground, she is a problem for a ton of people. But she struggles with takedowns. And people, I'm fighting for my life in the comment section. People going on and on. Her takedowns are great. No, Manon's just too big. Manon's just too big. Okay, how about when she went 0-14 against Tyler Santos? Oh, but Tyler Santos is in the PFL finals. Who gives a shit? Erin Blanchfield does not have very good takedowns. She's insanely tough. She's very dangerous on the ground. She is basically Mackenzie Dern, except Mackenzie has cleaner striking. For all of those reasons, I think Rose Namajunas wins here. I think Rose Namajunas is just too good. Former world champion, hasn't seemed to skip a beat. I don't think she's somebody you're just going to take down whenever you want to. And if you do, I mean, yeah, Erin could have some success. So I am picking Rose Namajunas to win this fight. But the bet is Erin Blanchfield win inside the distance, decision, no action. I'm fully expecting a refund there. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Listen, guys, I know people are going to talk about my bias against Rose, and I don't really have bias against Rose, even though I
have bias
feel like
against Erin. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't interrupt you once during your breakdown. People are going to say they have bias against Rose because of the Amanda stuff, but as Angelo already alluded to and kind of jumped the gun there, I picked against Erin Blanchfield as my lock of the week for Manon because why? I said that she cannot take down Manon. If she was not going to be able to get the takedowns, she wasn't going to win that fight. Couldn't get the takedowns, didn't win that fight. You're looking at Rose, you're trying to play apples and oranges. This is apples to apples. This doesn't even compare. Angela wants to put off to the side that Manon is a fucking 6'4", 250-pound woman, strong as an ox. You can't put that to the side because she is twice, 3 times as big as a girl like Rose. You look at Talia Santos, the exact same thing, a very big girl, right? You want to talk about maybe she can't get the takedowns versus Rose, who Rose has been taken down 13 times in her last 4 fights against people that actually shoot takedowns. The one caveat was Manon, who's not going to shoot takedowns against Rose, didn't shoot takedowns. But when people are actively trying to take Rose down 13 times in 4 fights, that's 3.25 times she's been taken down per fight, okay? When you're looking at a girl like Erin Blanchfield, lost against Manon Farrow, almost got that guillotine without even shooting a takedown. Beat Talia, found a way to win that fight, didn't even have a takedown. Fought Jessica Andrade, 1 takedown, got the submission. Fought Molly McCann, 1 takedown, got the submission.
Wow, she beat Molly? Damn.
See, there was a reason why I was not interrupting you, because I was being very respectful for your breakdown, even though it was complete fucking nonsense, because I knew that if I started interrupting you, you would interrupt me. But since I didn't interrupt you, now you can't play your fucking little games, okay?
Okay.
JJ Ulrich didn't even get a takedown, but she still found the win, found that submission. Why do I bring all this stuff up? Because it only takes fucking 1. Erin Blanchfield, I understand she's not been getting the takedowns. Rose is a girl that can be taken down. How do you take her down? You just fucking bully her. Amanda Ribas isn't the best striker in the world. What is she? She's tough, forward pressure, and she was stronger than Rose. What did she do? Worked through the pressure, got to Rose, grabs her, and just fucking dragged her to the ground. And what does Rose do when she gets taken down? She gives up her back. Amanda had her back. Tracy had her back. Tracy took her down pretty easily when she actually got to her hips. Erin Blanchfield is I think, has better takedowns than Tracy. What was Rose doing to win that fight versus Tracy Cortez? To win that fight, she was wrestling Tracy Cortez. She was shooting her own takedowns. If she is shooting takedowns against Erin Blanchfield, she will fucking lose, and she will lose in a hurry. People underestimate the grappling of Erin Blanchfield. Yeah, maybe she's not going to get 3, 5, 7, 10 takedowns. I promise you, it probably is only going to take 1. And Erin Blanchfield is bigger, stronger. Rose is sloppy in the grappling. And Erin Blanchfield is going to push forward against Manon Farrow, where she didn't get 1 fucking takedown. She threw almost 400 strikes. If you look at the scorecards against Tracy Cortez was winning the 4th and 5th rounds of those championship rounds. Erin Blanchfield's going to be in this girl's face. This isn't big-ass Manon Farrow. She's going to grab Rose. She's going to take her down or just climb her fucking back. And if she gets on Rose at all, she's going to get fucking submitted. That's just the way it is. Erin Blanchfield doesn't have to spam fucking takedowns left or right. It takes fucking 1. Rose is sloppy in the grappling. And if Erin gets on top of her, she's going to fucking submit her.
I hope so. I hope she does. I have a bet on Erin to get this submission. Full unit. So I hope that happens. I genuinely hope Erin Blanchfield submits Rose Namajunas. I make them more money that way. So picks and bets are not the same. I actually have a bet on Rose as well. I bet both sides of this. I have Rose Namajunas straight money line plus 100.
Rose is a low-key sniper. Why was she shooting takedowns against Tracy Cortez?
I hope you guys are all right, and I hope Erin Blanchfield shoots a blast double.
I'm talking to that guy.
Oh, my bad. I did get upset. I've been fighting for my life in the comments. Everybody's just like, her takedowns are amazing. They're the best takedowns. Yeah, they're not great. And that's why somebody just
a lot of trip takedowns, but I mean, literally, I don't think people understand how fucking good she is on the ground. Like, I don't think people understand.
Yes, she's spectacular.
Manon Farrow shot just a pretty good takedown, and fucking her neck was gone like that. And some people say she tapped, some people whatever. But I know in that instance, I said, holy fucking shit, was that fast. And if Rose gets in a situation where all of a sudden she doesn't like the pressure, because remember, Erin threw over 400 fucking strikes versus Manon Farrow, stayed in her face the entire time. If Rose is trying to grapple to avoid the pressure like she was against Tracy, because Tracy's another tough girl that was just staying in her face with the boxing, pumping the jab out there. Rose was like, I'm done with this. Let me take her down. If she starts trying to take down Erin Blanchfield, she's going to get fucking smoked.
Listen, I don't necessarily... I think Rose can win this fight just being the better striker, more experienced fighter overall. But if she gets taken down and submitted, I'll get paid. That's the point of that win inside the distance decision, no action bet. Somebody commented earlier, you said Erin has bad takedowns at 33% accuracy. What the hell is his name? Youssef Zalal has 34% accuracy, and you think his takedowns are good. Dude, these are wild comparisons you're making. You can't just go by numbers. Erin Blanchfield is 0 for 14 against Tyler Santos. So that was 2 fights ago. Her last fight, 0 for 4. Youssef Zalal's last 2 fights, 100% takedown accuracy. It's what have you done for me lately, not what have you done in the last 10 years. Wild comparison to make. But yeah, if Aaron gets the takedown and gets a submission, or if Aaron wins by submission, I'll get paid.
And if you want to have a fun game here, and you think I'm being biased versus Rose, and you're in the Discord, search my name and Aaron sucks, and have a field day with that, because I've been nobody has been a bigger Aaron Blanchfield hater than me the last 2 years. I've said that she sucks. There's a reason why I picked her against Lock of the Week, but this is different. This is a small, fragile Rose that she can just kind of rip to the ground, and that's where she dominates girls.
Yeah, it'll be, listen, I hope Aaron submits her. And it's going to be funny because if Aaron submits Rose, I'm going to make a bunch of money and people are going to be like, told you. It's like, okay, I have
$300 on
so
Aaron Blanchfield to win $1,250. Aaron Blanchfield by submission. I got plus 500. I think it's plus 400 right now.
There you go. If you want to check out the rest of the bets, first of all, pick your side. Whoever wins this will score well on DraftKings. If Rose wins, it'll be volume. She'll do some damage on the feet, and she'll get it done that way. If Aaron wins, likely by submission, certainly with pressure and either cage control or real takedown. So whoever wins in DraftKings is going to score well, so pick your side there. If you do want to check out the bets and everything else, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's freaking $10 for an entire month, even though we just gave you a few bets for free. Next up, at UFC Edmonton, we have the main event of the evening. We have Brandon Moreno taking on Amir Albazi. Brandon Moreno, 21-8 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is riding back-to-back losses. Taking on Amir Albazi, 5-0 in his last 5, 17-1 in his entire career. And he is returning after more than a year away. We all know Brandon Moreno by now. He was the flyweight champion for a few years there, long time reigning, absolute dog, super fun to watch. He's very tough, great chin, puts on a nonstop pace. He's averaging a couple of takedowns per fight. He mixes things up really well. His pace, his will to win, all very impressive, all very exciting. He's going to continue to come forward and stay busy, literally no matter what is happening. He is coming off back-to-back split decision losses, and the Pantoja one is what it is. A couple of well-timed takedowns changed the fate of that fight. The last one against Brandon Royval is interesting because on one hand, you could argue Brandon won that fight, right? You could argue, or Moreno. You could argue Moreno won that fight. But he also looked the flattest and the least aggressive we've seen him in a very long time. He was throwing one punch at a time, just looked flat, didn't seem to be himself. And that's his most recent performance. And now he's stepping in there against Amir Albazi. He is coming back after a full year away. He's a legitimate prospect. He's got good grappling, good striking. He sets a high pace. He is very comfortable striking in his style where he's light on his toes. He'll bounce in and out with a super long jab. And because he's so light, he can shoot nice, clean takedowns. On the ground, very slick grappler. He's not just a wrestler looking for control. He will take some risks, chase submissions. He is coming off that win over Kai Kara France where, listen, his strikes were doubled, the takedowns were... He didn't win that fight. It was a bad decision. But Kai Kara France is very good. He's tiny, but he's very, very good. And Brandon Moreno being a good-sized favorite here is I want to say surprising. I guess it's not surprising. He's the former world champion, and Albazi's coming off a fight that most people don't think he won. But it is surprising because Brandon Moreno's on his own little skid, and he's coming off the flattest he has ever looked. And if he is that flat foot, only throw one punch at a time version of himself in this fight, then Amir's going to get the takedowns if he wants the takedowns. Amir's going to be faster on the feet if he wants to be faster on the feet. I think Amir Albazi wins this fight. I think Amir Albazi is going to come forward. I think he's going to get it done. I think he's going to be a little bit faster, shoot the takedowns. I don't know what the time off looks like. I hate that he got that bad decision in his last fight. There might be some karma coming his way. Brandon Moreno is a great, likable guy. But if he is not the absolute dog that he was in the first fight against Deiveson Figueiredo, I don't see how he's going to win this one. What do you think, Jakey Boombalats?
Yeah, I think it's hard to hate a guy like Brandon Moreno. I mean, you even talked to him and got him on your vlog when we went to 303.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Everyone that knows Brandon Moreno, he's the nicest guy in the world. His rise to become the champion is one of the best stories. I think one of the more underrated stories in the UFC. I think it almost kind of gets left behind a little bit since he's no longer the champ and has kind of struggled lately. But him struggling early on to say, no matter what, I'm going to become the champion. And then the way he became a champion and even defended the belt as well is absolutely incredible. We all love him, Brandon Moreno, but I think he's a guy that has accomplished it all. And it's hard to find that drive again. You can look for that drive, and maybe he's able to find that drive. And if there's anybody that can kind of flip that switch again, it probably is going to be a guy like Brandon Moreno. But there is a difference from when you're coming up to when you're already the champion, and then you lose the belt. Now you have to try to work your way back up to try to be the champion again. And this guy, Amir Albazi, is fucking driven. This guy is coming off heart surgery. This guy is coming off neck surgery. They told him that his neck was in a position where if he got hit one other time, he could be paralyzed. This is a guy that came from a refugee family. I heard a story today about his story that when he was like 12 or 13 years old, so he grew up in Iraq, and then he went to Syria, and then they went to Sweden as refugees, and he got picked on and stuff. His friends, when he was like 12 or 13, wanted to go on this field trip. He asked his parents for money for the field trip. His parents didn't have money for the field trip. So you know what he did, Angelo?
What did he do?
He grabbed a fucking knife out of the kitchen, and he went outside, and he robbed the first person that he found so he could have fucking money. He said, I'm going to find my own money, and he robbed people at knife point, and he got in a bad way with some bad people, but then that's how he found mixed martial arts, and he cleaned up his life, and now he is just so fucking driven. But beyond that, this guy is a very powerful striker. He is a very good wrestler. If there's anything about Brandon Moreno, it's a couple things. You can take him down. Right? He is not an easy guy to hold down, but you can take him down to be able to score. He doesn't really handle power real well. He can get hurt. And in a fight that could be a decision fight, Brandon Moreno also doesn't wear damage very well as well. I mean, he does bleed. He does show damage when he's getting hit. Albazi's going to have the power advantage. He's going to have the wrestling. I believe he's going to have the grappling advantage. And I don't believe that Brandon Moreno is the same boxing Brandon Moreno that he used to be with the speed. Albazi struggled with the speed of Kai Kara-France, and if Moreno was still kind of that same guy, he could kind of match that speed. But losing a close fight against Kai Kara-France isn't like a bad. It's not like Kai Kara-France is a bum. He's got really good takedown defense, and he's a really, really fast, dynamic striker. I think Brandon Moreno is going to be a little bit step behind, and if Albazi starts landing shots that can hurt him, I think he can get the takedowns when he needs them. This guy is fucking driven, and I guarantee if Brandon Moreno had neck surgery last year, he probably would just hang it up and say, I'm good to go. I had a good career. I'm done now. This dude has almost lost his life, was almost paralyzed, and he wanted to the coaches said he was back in there 2 days after his neck surgery at the gym. He wanted to be there just to watch stuff, to try and absorb and learn. I think it's just one of those changing of the guards, and Albazi is going to find any way to get this done. I got to go my Habibi Amir Albazi in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we're both on the Albazi side. It's going to, it is going to suck if Brandon Moreno loses, watch him lose, because he is so likable. He's a guy that has been entertaining for a while. And he's still super young. I also thought he was going to take some real time off after that Royval loss.
He said he's
it hasn't even been a year. Yeah.
He said he kind of fell out of, I think he mentioned, he kind of fell out, and then he was going to, I have to go find my love for the sport again. And I hope he's found it. He looks like he's enjoying training and stuff like that. There's a little, I don't want to sway one thing or the other because this could be real information or not, but it sounds like he hasn't been working on his wrestling as much as he probably should have for this camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's if he wins, I'm not pissed. I did not bet on this fight. I am picking Amir Albazi. I didn't bet on it because of the surgeries and the layoff. It's like, what the hell is that going to look like? But assuming they're both healthy and they should be there, I think Amir wins. This should be a really fun fight. It's a good main event. This wasn't even originally the main event. I believe the co-main was the main, and then the UFC pushed it down and added this fight. Isn't that how that was? Wasn't Rose the main?
I can't remember. I think that does sound right, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I that's how I remember it, but I could be wrong. That could just be some fake narrative that we saw on Twitter and just absorbed as if it was fact. $8,500 in DraftKings Fantasy versus 77. I got to go 77. That is a low price point for a 5-round main event, and the guy I think is going to win is the affordable one. So I'm going to go that route. If you do want to unlock everything else, we want picks.com.
I think the surprising bet that I placed that you liked was, I'm going to check the odds on that now to see if it's changed. But it was that inside the distance decision, no action for Albazi. Because
yeah.
he's tough, and I think the finishing upside is probably on the Albazi side. Not that Moreno's getting finished
Yeah,
left and
Moreno's
right,
durable as hell, but you get a refund then. Yeah.
it's plus 160 now. It was plus 200, so it's moved a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean it's this is a surprisingly wide line for me, but I think a lot of it is
Kaikar fronts fight as well. This is a situation. So I mentioned I'm gonna bring it back almost to the Chimaev thing, and I told you guys Chimaev. I know that Usman survived, and then people were worried about the gas tank of Chimaev. But I said if you watch the Usman fight, he was full defense and still nearly almost got submitted. I believe Rob is going to get submitted inside of 3 minutes. That's pretty much exactly what happened. In that Kaikar Fronts fight, I know that Kaikar Fronts, people say he won that fight, all that stuff. He was basically fucking submitted, I think, in the third or fourth round. Albazi still got him down, got hit to his back, and basically had a choke fully in. Didn't quite have the angle, and Kaikar Fronts was able to kind of out-tough that choke. But if he gets that same situation against Brandon Moreno, he's probably just going to lock up that choke. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get in that situation again. So
it's a great main event. I'm looking forward to it. Here's the 4 fights that you're going to get. The 4 events you will get if you become a premium member. UFC Edmonton, UFC Vegas 100, UFC 309, and then UFC China. Every single pick bet tool, the data analyzer, the line movement tracker, the prop hunter, the DraftKings optimizer, preloaded with the ownership projections, the picks and bets and breakdowns from Artem, the artificial intelligence, every single one of these things right now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top for an entire month. And if you want 50, we'll send you 50. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the affiliate links. You sign up, you make a deposit, and we send you the affiliate money. Any last words for the people, Jakey boy, after 2.5 hours?
Like the stream if you haven't already. Put in the comments who you think the lock of the week is going to be. There's a lot of choices this week. I think I have 4 or 5, maybe 5 dogs that I picked. I bet a few of them already if you guys are premium members. Fuck, man. I was about to say something real fucking important. I think I'm going to be live streaming Saturday, so tune into that, and we'll get back after it. And, I'll be at UFC Tampa. UFC Tampa, I just got those tickets, the last card of the year, and we'll see if Angela ends up there as well. He's been invited.
I have been invited. Tiff before was like, yeah, go. I was like, go as in like, we're all going or just you? She's like, just you go. And she looked a little disappointed. I'm like, why don't we can all go. And she's like, all right, maybe just you and Jacob go to the fights and I'll take.
Anybody with a brain would have been like, all right, cool.
Yeah, her birthday's like the week before.
Don't ask, don't tell. All right, the week before isn't the fucking that weekend. So
anyway, I think what's going to end up happening.
Birthday month, girl. It's my birthday month.
I think what might end up happening.
Fucking Jesus' birthday month. So let's take a step back.
What might end up happening is we both go. Only I go to the fights and she'll go to Disney. My mom will drive up, pick her up, and then go to Disney.
The trans movement?
No, to support the Disney princesses that my kids love. Fucking political weirdo. Any other last words before you railroad this whole thing?
I was about to go on a tangent because I mentioned ESPN Plus is like going up, and somebody in the Discord was like, why do you support Disney? I was like, I love the trans movement.
Oh, I saw that comment. I didn't know what that was from.
They were like, just cancel it so you don't support it. I was like, well, personally for me, I just love it.
That makes sense. I just saw somebody a little unrelated. Somebody called Chimaev a weight bully. Dude, he was a 170 pounder and he's fighting at 185. And yes, he's a big dude, I get, but he's not a weight bully. He's an amazing wrestler. That's a very different, like...
He is fucking huge, but yeah, it's...
he's not a weight bully. A weight bully is just
he's definitely grown into 185 for sure.
Yeah, but he also was a 170 pounder, and...
He could have been a 170 wrestling Rob, and it would have made no difference at all. There was nothing about weight
use his weight.
involved in that. Dude,
it wasn't strength either. Dude. It wasn't strength either. He got him to the ground.
I'm pretty sure that he would have won that fight. I think COVID Chimaev still would have beat Rob like that.
It was crazy. But either way, thanks for hanging out, guys. And if anybody comments, it took 2.5, fuck you. Jacob put out a quick picks video. I put out a quick video. Watch those.
My quick pick video
They're
is
shorter.
20 minutes long.
Yeah,
Yours are
dude,
getting
watch
long,
those.
man.
I just start talking, dude.
You had one that was like an hour and a half long for a quick pick.
Never. I've never had an hour and a half quick picks.
It was over an hour.
I've had like an hour and 3 minutes. Oh, I don't.
14
You notice I
fights,
don't.
20 minutes for me. Boom, in and out.
The funny part is I don't call mine quick picks anymore because they're not quick. So, but either way,
I think
thanks
a lot
for the
of
watch,
people are going to
guys.
be at that Tampa card. D said he
We'll
might try to
see.
go. I've got a lot of messages on Twitter and stuff like, I'll be there, because it is affordable. I mean, it's like it's not a pay per view card, but
it's a fight night.
It's a good card, and it's affordable
In
for
an
an arena
arena.
card, and it'd be fun.
Yeah. I hope it works out. I mean, it sounds like I'll be there. It's just a matter of. So I don't want to go solo. I don't.
Guilt. You don't want that guilt. 'Cause then you have
Correct.
to pay that back. You don't
Correct.
want that
I
debt.
want her to come.
Just because you want her to come, not because you want her to be there. You just don't want to pay the debt later on.
I want her to be there. I love spending time with her, and I think she would enjoy the fights. And you know what I want? I want her to be there when somebody's like, Angelo. So I could be like, see, bitch.
Oh, like when I was walking.
Maybe
through the
you
casino
should.
and
Maybe
somebody
you should
goes-
be nicer to me.
I mean, that when I went to the Apex and people were yelling my name when I was walking through the casino, and literally like 7, 8, over 10 people at the Apex were like Salamander and stuff. It was it's quite the feeling. I'll tell you what, it was quite the feeling.
Oh, especially with an audience. It's like, see, motherfuckers. See, maybe you losers.
Salamander as I'm walking through the Aria. What's up, dog?
Yeah, maybe you should be nicer to me at home because these people treat me well. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Good riddance.